minutes on the Nuggets, okay? We're only spending 5 minutes on the Denver Nuggets.
That's it?
But what's up, everybody? I hope everybody had a good weekend because it was a great weekend of basketball. We in the playoffs, baby, so it's always going to be good. But as you know, there were 2 Game 7s this weekend, and the Denver Nuggets survived against the Clippers, and the Warriors survived against the Rockets. So we're going to talk about that. Also, we had a Game 1 for round 2. We're going to get into that, and we're also going to talk about every single series that we're looking at for round 2 because we got some good ones, y'all. But before we do that, Swiper, Morris, it's good to have y'all up here.
Hello,
one of y'all
everyone.
looks happy and one of y'all looks disappointed.
Which one's which?
Looks happy.
Yeah, which one's which?
I'm happy because it's playoff basketball. This is what I'm talking about. I love this, man. This is fantastic.
It was a great first round.
I was asked the question yesterday. Has this first round of these playoffs, has this been better than what you've seen last year? I think yes.
Yeah.
I think the teams are better. I think the action is better. I think the guys who didn't play as well last year are playing better. I think it's much more competitive in round 1 this year than it was last year. Even though we did have 3 sweeps, I mean, we had 2 Game 7s. So we didn't have that last year. And a lot of guys who weren't playing as well last year are playing a lot better. So I'm loving what I'm seeing. The playoffs is
like
awesome,
who?
man. Like Jaden McDaniels, like Julius Randle.
But Julius wasn't, like, for sure. Julius, great series from him, career series from him. But he played versus the Lakers defense, though. So I mean, probably Lakers tax that. But it's been a good playoff so far.
No, I'm not going to Lakers tax that. No, it's the playoffs, and we don't do that with other players. So it's the playoffs. If you play bad, we tax you for it. Same thing with Jalen Green. I mean, Jalen Green played bad.
I thought you was going to say another J.
No, I'm not. No.
Ooh, we doing some taxing today, Mars. But I do have a graphic, and we're going to get into the Clippers and the Nuggets game first. But I do have a graphic, speaking of what Chill just said, a graphic just showing some first-round standouts. And we could kind of, put together our own team of first-team all overperformers or whatever you may want to call it. But these are some guys that really showed up and showed out in the first round. Chill mentioned Jaden McDaniels, 17 points, 6 rebounds, 56% from the field. That's major for this guy. Shout out to Federal Way High School and shout out to, Jaden McDaniels. Russell Westbrook, and I'm assuming we'll get into him here in a second. He balled out in the first round, almost 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. And then Amin Thompson, can't sing his praises enough. He obviously, oh no, that's a sword. Well, hey, shout out to Sword.
God damn, Ron.
He was balling as well. Salute to the Sword. He did his thing. He obviously had the task of trying to take down Jalen Brunson, and it went as good as you could expect it to go. And you have Aaron Nesmith, Julius Randle, and Ty Jerome. We all know what these guys bring to the table. But these 6 guys were on this graphic. Is it any other guys that stand out for you guys that you would add?
80.
Or anything you want to say about these guys?
80. 12,
oh, and hello, Dion from Ohio.
80. 12.
What's good with y'all? What's
13,
good?
23. 28. 80. 28.
Well, to your defense, Ron. I mean, Asor and Amin, they do look exactly alike. So I do understand. How you can. Yes,
sure, I was positive that was Amin.
Yeah,
and then they put the red behind the
Viper, what are you counting?
Yeah, that's why they call
16,
twins.
80, 28, 16.
Andrew Nemhart, Ron, should also be up here too because he's been really good in the playoffs too. Yeah. We haven't really talked much about Andrew Nemhart. 16, I think he's been great. So,
16,
who else in the first round?
Swiper, we can hear you, right?
Yes,
yeah,
just so you know, Swiper.
Sorry, my bad. I'm counting.
We just listening to him.
My bad. I'm counting.
You doing basketball out loud?
That's what it sounds like.
I'm trying to get his numbers correctly because remember he had that. Russ played that one game when he only played 9 minutes because he got injured. But outside of that, I think he's averaging.
Okay, so his numbers would be higher.
I think he's closer to 15, 16 this series. I'm saying, like in what games he's actually played. So I'm sorry.
Is there anybody up here? Dion, feel free to jump in. Anybody that's not up here that you guys would like to throw up here? I know, Chill, you said Andrew Nemhart.
Well, Nemhart, I feel like is a little beyond this Well, I guess he did this last year too, so I guess he definitely counts for this.
Also, Nembhard,
another player,
like, what he does goes beyond the box score. Also, and
absolutely.
I don't think we talk nearly as much about what Nembhard does for that group, and like his ability to slow guys down and his ability to just keep guys in front of him and keep pressure on the defense too, because you got a lot of guys in the game who are one-sided on the basketball. They're not nearly as good on the other side, but Nembhard can score. I didn't realize, Ron, that he could score the basketball as well. I mean, he gets really good separation on that step back in the mid-range, especially when he gets mismatches. So I'm impressed with Nembhard. I am.
Well, I mean, if we're putting stars on here like Julius Randle, like, all that stuff, then I think J-Dub deserves to be here. Chet deserves to be here.
Right here below me, your guy Boss Man, he said Caruso.
Absolutely,
Caruso.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Caruso was incredible. Really, maybe
OKC played so long ago. I forgot they had a series. Like, I haven't seen OKC playing so long.
Miles,
somebody down here said Swiper. I guess they didn't expect you to make it out the first round.
They got footage of that's what, to your point, Miles. They got footage of Chet outside in his yard weed whacking. That's what's going on with him. So that's they haven't really been doing much.
OKC have played like 4 games since like April 13th.
Yeah. They chilling.
It's the 5th of May right
That's
now.
It's a real picture?
Why would it not be real? He can't manage his lawn?
Yeah, that's really going on. Yeah, that he was weed whacking. Mm-hmm.
He on his Larry Bird.
Mm-hmm.
Just hope he doesn't hurt his back.
Mm-hmm. That's going on with him. So,
all right, y'all. Well, let's go ahead and get into it, because there was a game 7 in Denver, Colorado, the Mile High City. Swipe, what's the name of the arena?
Ball Arena. Used to be Pepsi Center, but Ball Arena now.
Yeah, so there was a game 7 there, and 2 teams that both expected to move on to the next round, but one actually wanted to go to the next round, and the other might as well have stayed home. And that's the Los Angeles Clippers. They got mopped, absolutely mopped, steamrolled by the Denver Nuggets by a score of 120-101. Just a couple quick box scores. Nikola Jokic, well, he didn't really go crazy like that. He had 16 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Michael Porter Jr. had 15 points. Christian Brown had 21 points. And off the bench, Big Ox off the bench.
Here we go.
16, 5, 5, and 5 from Russell Westbrook. And for the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard had 22 points, and nothing.
That sound real quiet. That 22 sound real quiet, Ron. I'm just saying. It sound like a 22 points from Kawhi.
Because that's what it was.
This is probably the worst full Kawhi series I've seen in some years, honestly.
Well, he hasn't had a full series in years.
Well, how about that? I'm saying I'm going back to the Raptors, like I'm going back to the Spurs. Like
it's the worst he's had since the 2020 bubble.
That says a lot about how good Kawhi Leonard is at basketball.
Well, sure.
I mean, the only other full series he had since then was 21 against Dallas.
Yeah, 21 against Dallas.
He was amazing in that series.
Because the end of the 2020 bubble one, he wasn't good, but
he's always amazing.
Kawhi, I think the issue is Kawhi's going to escape.
He wasn't amazing.
We're going to do a lot of blaming Harden today, and
rightfully so.
Yeah, which we should. But I think in totality, they just lack the overall energy from all of their top players in Game 7.
No. When you say that, Swiper, when you say that they lack the total energy and in totality, I don't want to put that on the Clippers. I want to put that on your Denver Nuggets.
No, I agree.
I thought that they brought the fight to the Clippers. I thought Denver made it clear that this is an elimination game and we're not going home. And I feel like as a collection, they played like that. I thought that the ball moved a lot more. I thought that the defense was a lot sharper. I thought the rebounding was so much better in that Game 7. I thought that you guys were much more detailed oriented in that game than you've been in any other game throughout the course of the series. And I think that you came in and made a statement early on.
Well, the Nuggets had 3 20-point leads in 3 of the last 4 games in the series. So I think they had obviously figured something out. But I will say, I think what really spearheaded the launch was Russell Westbrook, Christian Brown, Aaron Gordon, and Peyton Watson. They ran the second man unit. They had their 4 best defenders on the court with Jamal, and basically they just
who'd you say, Swiper?
Christian Brown, Aaron Gordon, Peyton Watson, and Russ. That was the 4-man that they had out there, and basically their defense,
all unplayable guys.
No, their defense and their energy continues to do. You control from Cancun all you want, Murdoch. So
I'm not trolling at all. So you said they were unplayable.
In game 3 they were. If you're going to bring up this nonsense, I want you to address Karad because you've been running on the timeline.
Welcome home, brother.
You have been running on the timeline. Running on the timeline. You never want to hold Kawhi accountable. Ever.
For what? Kawhi played great basketball.
He was mid.
Kawhi played great basketball and Jokic got carried.
Mid for most of the series, had no impact on most of the games. But he's going to skate because you like him. So I'm saying we can do this if you want.
I didn't even get into it.
We can do this if you want. Since you want to take shots, we can do this if you want.
I simply said one thing.
He didn't play in the fourth quarter again.
Relax.
He sat.
Relax.
Nowhere to be seen. It wasn't in the fourth quarter. When the third quarter happened, what was Kawhi doing? We're shifting the conversation. When the third quarter happened, what happened? What happened in the third quarter when Kawhi was on the court?
I'm talking about what you're talking about.
Made no impact whatsoever.
You shifted the conversation.
There's no shift. I said in game 3 they were unplayable. That's what happened. And then what happened from that point on? They started to dominate.
Have we had guys?
No, hold on, chill. Because I always just running from a bird. You keep big up in Kawhi Leonard. You have been big up in Kawhi Leonard for years. What did he do? Didn't do anything. Literally didn't do anything. Sat on the bench on his hands.
Are you going to talk about what we're talking about? Or are you going to keep changing the subject like you always do?
I'm not changing nothing. Address your favorite player. Address your favorite player.
Address your favorite player.
I was going into the game, then you came off the mic. So I'm saying Kawhi Leonard, how many games do you feel like he made an impact in this series? Like in 7 games. Fully healthy.
Every single game. Every single game.
That's what I'm talking about. Just yapping once again. No one holding me over. In the third quarter, they went on a 15-0 run with Kawhi Leonard on the court. Did nothing. They got up 27 points with Kawhi Leonard on the court. Did nothing. And then in the fourth quarter, instead of being a man and standing on his 10, he rode the pine the entire quarter of a game 7. This is the second in a row. Look at me. This is the second in a row game 7 versus the Denver Nuggets. He got 0 points in the fourth quarter. 0 in back-to-back game 7. The last 2 we've seen versus Denver, nothing. Didn't do anything. In 2020, did nothing. In 2025, did nothing. Run a 5-year run of 0.
I know how bad Juju want to put Kawhi Leonard's downfall.
I ain't praying for his downfall. I'm just listening to what my man just told me. My man just told me it sounded like Kawhi Leonard was unplayable. That's what it sounded like to me.
All I simply said
all that two-way dominance, chill. All that two-way dominance. All he does is hit tough jumpers. You ask him to play make, he can't do it. You ask him to penetrate, he can't do it. He couldn't drive past Aaron Gordon. I thought Aaron Gordon wasn't going to do nothing with him. He wasn't even driving by Christian Brown. He was hunting Jamal Murray out of dear life. And then all he did is hit contested twos the whole series. And yet here you are talking about, he played great. The dude got. That's what I'm saying. We can go if you want.
You got so upset. You got so upset for no reason.
The Denver Nuggets.
Hold on. You're not just yell on the mic
and Christian Brown.
Keep going, bro.
They changed the tempo in the second quarter with their defense. They started running in transition. The defense was great from those 4, and they got the Nuggets back in the game. Jokic started 0-5. He started 0-5.
You can't.
Swiper and Ox. It's a Monday morning. We just had a good weekend of hoops. I'm down here in Cancun. It's hot as hell. We having a good time.
I'm just confused on how it's chill here.
I'm not confused. I just wanted to simply address that. All I said, Swiper, was what happened to all these unplayable dudes that you've been talking about all season? I kept trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you, Swiper, how good your basketball team is. I've been saying this for months, and you keep talking about no, this guy's unplayable, this guy's unplayable, this guy's unplayable. And I'm just curious about that. Swiper, I didn't try to throw the Clippers no bail. None of that. I'm just simply wondering what happened to all these unplayable dudes that you keep talking about. Why do you always come up here and pretend like the basketball team isn't good to try to big up Jokic when in fact this is a very good basketball team?
So when I
that's all I want to. Hold on, Swiper. With your loud ass mic. Let me. No.
Jamal Murray in the top 20 guard in the league. What happened after that?
I'm not
remember that conversation distinctly.
Try to tell me what I'm saying. I'm not gonna let this loud ass Mike keep trying to tell everybody what I'm saying.
Is it the same level of
what exactly like Ox? It sounds to me like Ox. It sounds to me like Denver's a good basketball team.
I want
that's what it sounds like to me.
Turn it back up or down.
Swiper to talk. I don't do what you got to do, Swiper.
I mean,
I just want Swiper. I just want it's all easy for me. What I want Swiper to do. What I want Swiper to do is talk about this basketball team and stop pretending like they're not good just to big up Jokic.
Maybe he doesn't feel like they're that good. And maybe he feels like Jokic is that great.
And to be clear,
how could all these dudes be unplayable and carry his big ass?
They're not unplayable. Jokic programmed them before the series.
I'm just curious, Swiper. Like, I want to know, is this a good basketball team or not?
So the whole year we watched this.
That's all I said.
You said your piece. Let me answer you directly. The whole year we've all been saying this team has been underperforming. They won 50 games straight by. They had one of the worst benches, bottom 3 bench in the NBA this entire season. And everybody knew this. We had gone over this multiple times. We had already said, and I've told you since January what their issues have been. They haven't been able to play defense all season. They haven't. This is the first time for a 7-game stretch. I'll gladly tell you, because they had the best offense basically in the league for most of the season. It's not top 3 at minimum for most of the season. That's what happened.
The best offensive players too. Don't leave that part out. The best offensive players too.
See, that's the thing. You're putting stuff in there. I'm just telling you what happened. Their defense
you said these dudes were unplayable.
21. In game 3, they were. In 2000, in this year, the entire defense was ranked 21st in the NBA. They hadn't defended. They had lost to the Washington Wizards. We all watched that game twice. They lost to the Lakers with no LeBron and Luka. And then when LeBron and Luka did play, as we talked about, and Marge brought this up, when we had the whole conversation about the Lakers and the Nuggets, when they're going to put 2 on the ball versus Luka and LeBron, we talked about they can't defend it because they don't have the defenders. The backline rotation, what it wasn't supposed to be this year. They weren't playing good enough at the level this year. They don't have POA defenders. We said this all season. So what happened is they come into the playoffs. Yes. All right. Let me ask the group up here. Did we at any point in time say they had a good defense this season? I just want to know. I'm asking the group. I'm opening the conversation.
I didn't.
Wait. No.
Okay,
I'm talking about a good basketball team, Swiper.
So if you can't play defense, which is for you half the ball.
You said that this team was you said that this team was unplayable. I just want to know, is this
that happens? Yes,
so
that happens in playoff games.
Swiper, stop lying.
I only said it in game 3 because that's exactly what happened. They had 2 players. They had 2 players that performed in that game. In that game is what happened. So here we're going. We're going back to the year. The entire year, the defense was bad. Everybody acknowledged this. They didn't have the POA defenders, and even at their best, they hadn't put together a stretch of games this whole year, this whole season where they're playing defense like this. What happened is, and what I told you going into the series, if they end up showing that they've done something they haven't done all year, and they can
Christian Brown playable,
they can be aggressive, they can play at the level the way they're supposed to, they can have POA defense, they can screen navigate, the conversation would be different. And they did that. So they finally do it, and then they win. And arguably, and just to be clear, if Jokic played better in game 2, they're done in 6. The series is over. If he makes his free throws, I can't remember what happened down the stretch of that game. Makes his free throws and then makes some of those bunnies. Russ missed those 2 bunnies in that game. They win the game, and then the series is over in 6. So we have literally had this conversation multiple times. Where we're talking about, I'm going to read this. Somebody read this. Somebody read this.
When did Swiper bringing up the players being unplayable in the game 3 because they were bad and injured turn into he said they were unplayable all season?
When did I say they were unplayable this season?
How you've been saying these dudes were unplayable, and I've been the one up here defending. I've been the one up here defending your basketball team. And I'm just curious to know if this team is in fact unplayable. That's all I said. I didn't come up here talking about this and that. I just simply said that, and it's really not that big a deal, Swiper. Let's just keep going.
Well,
what's funny is, Swiper, the energy you have for Ox should be for me. No, I was the one that said y'all was trash, but keep getting it out, though. He deserves it.
That's the issue, Ron. You don't give people.
Yeah, hell yeah, I came off the mic for sure.
You've been consistent. You don't give people credit on the Nuggets, and we know this.
Thank you.
You call Murray Lester. You say
you said that all season, Ron.
A bunch of stuff.
And when it was time for him to be more, what happened?
He was less.
And who stepped up?
When this series?
Who put on their big boy shorts? Yes, this series.
Have you been big up on Russ this whole year?
Who came and got y'all 2 games?
Russ.
2?
When needed, who stepped up?
A role player.
Who came up?
As a matter of fact, As a matter of fact, Ron, Swiper tried to put that on me, the whole Jamal Lester thing, and I'm like, what? I never
didn't put the Lester.
We did it.
No, because you
did a guard
you
ranking.
you
did a
came up
guard
with the
ranking
name,
6 weeks ago.
and you was placing the bets too. I placed the bets. You got
there was a stretch. There was a stretch during the season where there was a conversation.
Jamal Murray.
Should Russ be starting? That was going on. That was a conversation. Should Russ be starting? Because he was playing really good at one point, and Jamal Murray had, for all intents and purposes, gone by the wayside. However,
like
when we started
talk about this team without dealing with narrative, that's what I'm saying. Like we had a whole good ass game. Game 7. Here he comes off the mic yapping. Go ahead, chill.
The question, you're the one that created these narratives.
We literally got into the second quarter. Chill. We started this convo in the second quarter. What turned the tide of the game? And I started with the 4 role players, and then here comes Ox talking about unplayable. Just deal with what happened in Game 7. And if you're not coming off the mic to address Kawhi, you honestly have nothing to say today. Please chill.
You have nothing to say. No, you have nothing to say. You're just up here yapping. You don't control anything but the narrative that you created.
Let me just say this one thing, bro. And I've been hearing y'all yapping for 20 minutes, bro. First of all,
listen.
Let me just say it respectfully. What's up, brother? What's up, bro? Let me say this. Chill. Why are you here, bro? You told me you was on a train, bro. You shouldn't be here. You should be somewhere else. First of all, chill. You should be on Ox Squad. You should be on Ox Squad. No, let me get to this.
I'm a figment of your imagination.
Let me get to this. Swiper, bro. Stop parading. Your time is done. You're playing OKC, bro. It's over. You know that, right? You know you're done, bro. Listen. You beat another thing. Address the elephant in the room. James Harden, bro, not showing up. Why have we not spoken about James Harden not showing up yet? That's ridiculous, bro. Where is it at? I haven't heard nobody talk about James Harden, bro.
Well, we were going.
James Harden, bro, is the main guy that needs to show up in Game 7s, bro. Yeah, it's that simple.
Yeah, we were going to get to that. But first of all, I was so Dion has obviously been listening to my live streams. So Dion,
you shouldn't be here.
And why, I'm not. I'm a figment of your imagination.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm really not. I'm a figment of your imagination right now. You think you see me. I'm not here. I'm really dead because I was on that Clipper train that crashed, right? And I was dragged onto that Clipper train. I got off of it. I was dragged back on it and strapped down. And
this dude had all day to get off the train, bro. Now he's here. Now he's talking about, they're a good team. Listen, no, bro. He's switching up, man. Listen, my Lakers, bro, we in Cancun. It's cool, but I don't switch up, though. He up here switching up. Chill's up here switching up right now. It's ridiculous, bro.
I didn't have them making the playoffs this year.
No, he playing two sides, bro. He got 2 jerseys on. It's ridiculous, bro.
You full of shit. You are full of it. First and foremost, I ain't had the Clippers making the playoffs this year. So let's start there. I didn't have this team making the playoffs. I didn't think that they were a good team. No, I did not.
So who you have in the series, man? You had on the Clippers.
I had the Nuggets in 6.
All right, man.
What do you mean? All right, that's what I had. I had the Nuggets.
Then why are you on the Clippers train? Why are you on the Denver train then?
I got dragged on the. I was.
Man, come on, man.
I got dragged on that train. I'm not.
Listen, I just had to address that, but no. Back to you, Swiper. You over here doing this fake parade, bro. Listen, your team going home, bro. You talk about, bro, Clippers is a lousy team. You know guys are going to show up in the fourth quarter, bro. We're talking about OKC, one of the best defensive teams, but that's offensive team. It's over, bro. It's over, bro. And Jokic's not even playing that good either. Jokic's not playing the best player in the world right now either. You need to know that.
I do appreciate you for being here, Spike Lee.
Lousy.
Man, no, bro. This fake parade stuff, bro. Chill out with it, bro. Chill out with it, bro.
All I wanted to say is this. I think that Russell Westbrook,
the 4 guys you were talking about, can we get back to the 4? Yeah, let's get back to the 4 guys.
Taking over the game in the second quarter, their defensive intensity is what shifted the game. And then on top of that, Murray and Jokic weren't not shooting well in the first half or in the first quarter in particular, like 0 of 9 to start the game. And then it was because of them that the game ended up turning the tide. They had 11.
Bro, Zubac had your guys shook. Bro, Zubac had your guys shook the whole series, bro.
Why you keep talking about Zubac? Wait, stop right there. Whoa.
Let me say this.
Stop right there. Let me say this. Because this is nonsense. This is nonsense what you're doing. Stop talking about Zubac like Zubac is just okay. We're talking about Zubac who could be an all-league defender this year.
Okay, then. Okay, listen to this. Who has a better defense? OKC. Who has a better defense? OKC or what's it called? Or the Clippers?
The last 40 since Kawhi's
who had a better defense? Been there? So if he's struggling against the Clippers, what is he going to do against OKC? Well, they got 2 big men that's down there.
Since Kawhi's been there, they've
One of
had
them-
I'm just saying. No, two of them. They have two of them. Check it. Definitely hold his own against Jokic.
One of them is foul prone. Who is Hartenstein?
Okay.
Foul prone. So we can get him out of the game.
And
So
neither one
don't
of them-
say
They got better defense, bro. They got better defense. They got better defense, bro. Jokic is struggling. Jokic is tired. He had an MVP season. He's tired. He's not even going to get MVP. He's tired. He's gassed out. I'm telling you that right now. You better hope Jamal Murray shows up, bro.
Really,
that's all I'm saying, bro.
This all started with giving players credit who are not.
No, because you trying to sit here and have a fake parade, bro. You went against James Harden, bro. He's a shell of himself in Game 7. We know that, bro. Bro, SGA, you got to handle SGA next sentence. I'm just saying, bro. So this fake parade stuff got to stop. And Ox, bro, you was incorrect too. Kawhi Leonard is not himself. So you guys both was right, but you guys both was wrong at the same time. Literally.
I'm not here to be right. I'm not here to be right.
Thank you, Dion, for coming up here, bringing some logic.
You selected today's talent.
I'm just here to support Kawhi Leonard,
bro.
I'm not here to be correct.
You be quiet, bro. I'm here today, and listen, bro. I'm hurt, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Cancun right now. You know what I'm saying? And I want to say this, bro. Luka, bro, you gotta play better. You know what I'm saying? Luka, you gotta play better, bro. You know what I'm saying? LeBron James 40 years old. He should be the best defender out there. You know what I'm saying? And another thing, bro. We need some big men. JJ, bro. I'm disappointed, bro. I was rooting for you all season. You come out here, bro, and play like that, bro. You put that lineup out there. That's disgusting, bro. We need a big man, bro. So anybody help the Lakers? If not, LeBron James is gone. Laker Nation, you haven't, you know what I'm saying, appreciate LeBron James since he's been there. So listen, if LeBron leave y'all, you know what I'm saying, you got Luka, so it's gonna be cool. But make sure you make the right moves, because if not, LeBron James is out of there. So it's that simple.
All right, can we move beyond Ray Charles, please, and get back to the game? What I want to
come on, bro. Hey, bro, shut up, bro. Bill Cosby, stop talking to me.
Ron, what credit would you like to give to Russell Westbrook in Game 7? Because we can start there. That'd be a good basketball conversation.
Boy, Cloud, let's talk basketball then. Let's talk basketball then. What you gotta say then? Let's get it.
I'm not gonna say too much about this game because there's nothing really to say. The Clippers didn't show up, and the Nuggets clearly showed up and wanted to play in round 2. I do want to say this.
I do.
Dion, you brought up James Harden. This is the place that I'm going to start. Swipe, I know you said, who do I want to give credit to? No. Who do I not want to give credit to? And that is James Harden. This is despicable. And he has shown us that he is David Blaine time after time after time again. So this is all I want to say when it comes to James Harden. I was talking to somebody and they said, finally, we can stop putting James Harden in Steph Curry conversations. I said, Steph Curry? Who puts him in those conversations? The only time that James Harden and Steph Curry should be mentioned in the same sentence is if there is a child that's conceived and their first name is Steph and their last name is Harden. That's it. That is not a conversation, and it should never be in the same sentence. But then it went a step further. I'm like, James Harden should never be mentioned in the same sentence as a man that has 3 rings, a Finals MVP, which should be 2, but we won't get into that. Somebody who has more All-Stars, and somebody who has more All-NBAs, and somebody who, quite frankly, when it's time to win, they show up and hoop. And that is Dwayne Wade. And last but not least, there also is another person who I don't want to hear Harden's name ever mentioned with again. And that's somebody that when it's time to hoop, when it's time to go to the next round, he'll actually show up. You know, dunk on you and get technicals and all of that good stuff. You know, Mr. Triple-Double himself. Do not mention James Harden with Russell Westbrook again. I don't want to hear it no more. I'm through with it. I'm done with it. And that's all I got to say. Shout out to Russell Westbrook.
That last one was nasty, bro.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
James Harden's better than Russell Westbrook.
Hey, you could.
I was like, bro, this dude talking, bro. Like, you said that last one, bro. That was trash, bro.
Hey, he ain't looking.
It's cool, though.
He ain't looking. Why wasn't he better than the last night?
I mean, he's not in his prime no more. He's not in his prime no more. Listen, first of all.
Russ been better. Right quick, Dion. Russ been better since 2012, and he's still better in 2025.
That's probably the most incorrect thing to say.
Call on Russell Westbrook. If you don't want to win, rely on James Harden.
James Harden at their prime, first of all, James Harden at their prime, James Harden's better offensively. We all know that. At their prime, let's get that out the way, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And then, bro, at their peak, bro, James Harden's better. And the thing is, they're out their prime. And another thing is, James Harden's actually orchestrating the Clippers' offense right now. He's actually the number 1 player for their offense. Russell Westbrook is like the 6th man, 7th man. I mean, that's kind of crazy. I'm just saying, bro. I think James Harden has more
James Harden went from team to team, star to star, and disappointed in every single stop.
The Nuggets ran in the second half.
That's what I was about to come. I was about to come to you, Swiper, because I was thinking to myself with the collection of guys. I mean, we had 6 guys in double figures.
And 15 points.
Yeah, nobody. I don't think anybody scored 20.
Never done that in Game 7.
Yeah, nobody scored 20. We had 6 guys in double figures, and I think that 3-2 zone threw a monkey wrench in anything that they was doing with the Clippers, because I feel like they really spread them out. And not only did it spread them out, it kind of threw Zubac off, because now Zubac's got to play higher. He can't play as close to the basket as he did. Now he's got to play higher and get to the ball. So I think that threw him off a lot. Now, there were guys who I thought that Coach Adelman took out of the series, like Bogey, for example. I thought he did a really good job in keeping hands in Bogey's face. I thought he did a good job in mismatch hunting him. Not only mismatch hunting him, but I thought they did a good job in getting screens to get open shots and get him away from guys defensively. So, with that being said, I just felt like the collection of guys and how they played off Joker in that Game 7, how the defense that the Denver Nuggets played and sped up the game, because I thought the Clippers' transition defense was awful, right? And I felt like the Denver Nuggets did a great job in getting out an open floor. And they just looked like a team that was more together than what the Clippers were. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I had the Nuggets in 6. They ended up winning it in 7. And the question is where do we go from here with this Denver Nuggets team? Do we now see them as a legit contender, and is this where the road stops when they go up against this Oklahoma City team?
Oh, they come, man.
Yeah, I mentioned it. Come on, like we don't even need to talk about the second round with the Nuggets.
Do you think they get smoked against Oklahoma City?
Well, Swiper has Denver in 7, so there's someone up here at least who thinks they can win. I know Ox doesn't believe in.
I think Christian. To give credit to Christian Brown, he basically took James Harden out of the series.
Yes, he did.
Except for Game 6, James Harden's 3-point shot was going, but Christian Brown was like spectacular after Game 1. Like I think the physicality and athleticism really boggled like James Harden a lot. And every time they tried to mismatch hunts with Jamal, they started doubling. And eventually the Nuggets figured out spacing chill, because what they did was they would have Norman or Batum topside. So if you doubled off of one of them and then try to get the ball to Harden's hands, they would just do an automatic rotation up to Batum or Norm, and then they just figured out like how to exactly rotate their defense to get back to the matches they won in the first place. And also James Harden over the series didn't do a good enough job giving off the ball. So when they did trap him, he would sometimes let the trap settle back into one-on-one defense with Brown. And then it was just like they would get back into that ISO heavy tween thing. And then, either force it to Kawhi or force it to Norm. They would try to put the ball up, but all the way around, man, like the Nuggets defense was incredible. Russell Westbrook's off-ball defense was incredible in that game. 5 steals off the bench is just like. I also think Christian Brown did a great job in his pickup point with James Harden. He slowed down their transition game, because I think that the Clippers, they thrive in transition. So when he's slowing him down in transition, now James Harden's got to do a better job in taking care of the ball. Well, he wasn't doing that, and particularly off the pick and roll. Like I felt like they was blitzing James Harden, but then they would get back. Like what I mean when I say that is, so I got James Harden and I got let's say not Zubac, because Zubac didn't come up high. So I got James Harden and I have Bogey. That's not good offense with these 2 guys playing pick and pop or pick and dive, because now I got 2 guards who can switch, but I also got 2 guards who can blitz. But Christian Brown was so good getting around screens that he was able to keep him. He was able to stay in front of James Harden, and then their offense wasn't really as efficient as it could be. Now we also got these guys with James Harden in the pickup point. We got their offense starting 13 seconds left on the shot clock. Now they got to play faster than they normally do. So especially in Game 7, they did that. I just thought the Denver Nuggets defensively as a collection, I thought they were great. And Ox, Ox Chill, Ron and Dion, I don't know your basketball background at all, but I don't know. Have you ever had a bruised AC joint before?
A bruised
on your
AC
shoulder?
Joint. I had it on my elbow and it hurts like a bitch.
Yeah, so your AC joint is like, well, I don't want to do whatever, but anyway, it makes it hard to lift your arm. The week we played Michigan State in college, I did this in a week in practice, and I had to wear a pad on my shoulder for the next year. And on my bench, my arm was short like this. I couldn't fully extend my right arm, so I stopped benching for a year. So for Porter to be playing through that consistently and then not be able to raise his left arm, like I just think he deserves a lot of toughness credit just for being able to battle through this series, and he's going to be big in this next series too. And also, Chill, he was hitting his shots. Because remember, in the third quarter, the Nuggets were up. They were up like I think 15 at 1.17. Porter made that contested three over Kawhi Leonard on the side in the left corner, and then Aaron Gordon put him up 20, and then Porter came down in transition on the right wing and just buried a three to put him up 23 points and basically put the game away in the third quarter. He just deserves a lot of credit, I think, for just being as tough in the series, even just defensively, like having to adjust playing versus Kawhi or adjust playing versus Batum. He just, again, they don't win the series without him either.
I do have to give credit.
Yeah, we definitely talked about that.
I do have to give credit to Zubac for how he played defensively against Joker, and not just defensively, offensively. He kept Joker on the defense, and I think that really affected Joker's game offensively. So I do have to give credit to Zubac for doing that. That was a big deal for him, no doubt. And don't get me wrong, I'm not just gonna what I'm not gonna do is I'm not just gonna completely discount that Joker played bad. No, Zubac was really good in this series. Really good finishing around the rim. He was really good holding the clip. He was really good at points holding the Denver Nuggets to one shot, holding Joker to one shot, challenging Joker on the glass as a rebounder. I think he really gave Joker all that he can handle this series. All that he can handle.
Like we talked about though, Chill, because we do Chill with Chill. We talk about these series a little more in depth and as much as we can. And I wouldn't say Joker played bad. I don't think that's I don't think that's correct. I just don't think he had the offensive explosion that he usually was having during the regular season. I think we can credit Zubac for a lot of that. With the second chance opportunities, I think Zubac impressed me more than anybody this whole series. I mean, you had individual games like from Kawhi, individual game from Jamal Murray, where those two, went crazy, but Zubac was consistently, banging. And y'all know Jokic is huge, you know what I'm saying? So even though Zubac is huge too, like that's going to take a toll on anybody. Shout out to Zubac. But what you were saying about MPJ, we talked about that earlier too. There was I think it was game 2 where he was walking around and you could see he did not even want to move his arm. He was like, in pain. You could see it. And so that's what I'm talking about though, like playoff basketball. You know what I'm saying? Playoff basketball is just different where he wouldn't be playing if this was January, December, November. But you got to be hard. You know what I'm saying? You got to be tough. You got to be serious about winning to get through playoff series, especially one like that. One that we were talking about from game 2, we realized this could be one of the better playoff series we've seen. I think the Clippers dropped the ball and not giving us a good game 7 to kind of cap it out. And
what do you think that was? Do you think that's like fatigue, altitude? Like, what do you, or just?
I don't never do the altitude fatigue. It's never an excuse. It just, and like I said on Saturday,
called being a fraud. That's
like I said on Saturday, Chill, the better team is going to win tonight, regardless of who that team is. I didn't know who it was going to be. I didn't know who the better team was, but I also remember telling you, Chill, like with Aaron Gordon in game 4, when he it's like when Derek White got that tip in last that one. It's like those type of plays right there is gonna win series. Like when he did that, I had a pit in my stomach. Like, damn, it's over. You know what I'm saying? These dudes clearly won it. You know what I mean? So it's those things. Aaron Gordon to me is one of the most important like X factors in on any team.
And he still has a calf injury too, Ox. Like he's battling through injuries.
Here's the problem that we have with Kawhi Leonard. The problem that we have with Kawhi Leonard is that we haven't seen him in such a long time. Because we haven't seen him in such a long time, and we get a game like we got in game 2, automatically the consensus is he's back. That's all it is he's back. Kawhi Leonard's going to be the guy. This is what we've all been waiting for. This is the guy that we've been waiting for even though we hadn't seen him in the playoffs in almost 5 years. He's back. But was he back? No, he wasn't. He just
still he is back.
No,
he is back.
He is not.
Like what I'm saying is Kawhi Leonard is who he is today. He is back. Kawhi Leonard is not 2021 Kawhi Leonard. He's not 2019.
And that's the point. That's
not the point.
That doesn't mean he's not back.
That's what I'm trying to say. Kawhi Leonard has been playing.
That's like saying Kevin Durant hasn't been back since his Achilles.
Chill. Wait, chill. Who is playing more? Which one of these players? LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Steph Curry, Give me one, Kevin Durant. Which one of these dudes are playing like they were playing in 2019? I never expect Kawhi Leonard to be 2019 Kawhi Leonard. What I'm saying is he's back because he could play a full series of playoff basketball.
NBA series.
Dion, hold on, bro. Hold on.
That's crazy, though, bro. Bro, he doesn't play the whole regular season, and then he come out there and play one NBA series. All right, bro. All right, Dion. So what are we doing? What's the Clippers doing?
What are we doing? We're watching.
Kawhi Leonard timeline's over, bro.
Why are we acting like Kawhi wasn't hooping though?
What is he asking?
Ron, that's what I'm trying to get.
At the end of the season in one round?
That's what I'm trying to get.
We're chill. Are you good?
Bro, we need a
wait,
whole regular season.
Ron, the reason why
can you turn your mic
down
a bit? The reason why this is going,
he's not asking anything. He's just talking shit.
The reason why I understand, but what Ox is doing is Ox is just trying to simplify this into Kawhi Leonard is back and that's it.
It's very simple. Chill.
No,
it's that simple.
But you're trying to act like he wasn't hooping.
No, I'm not.
You can make an argument that Kawhi was the best player in this series.
No, I cannot make an argument.
No, you can definitely make that argument.
What I'm saying,
Take Jokic off the table. Kawhi was easily the second best player in the series. All right, no, because I don't even want to go into that. So who was better than him? Chill.
Zubac was better.
I think it's fair to say that Zubac was the most consistent, important player on the Clippers this whole series. I think that's fair to say. But what is not fair is to act like Kawhi Leonard wasn't playing really good basketball.
That's not the point, though, Oxen.
I had already said on Saturday to you, regardless of what happens, first round exit, there's no excuse. A first round exit, there is no excuse for Kawhi Leonard or LeBron James. There is no excuse. You go home in the first round.
The Lakers had an excuse.
Bro, Dion, relax, bro.
We go to the NBA Finals, bro. We had no center, bro. We had no center, bro. If you give us Zubac, we're going to the NBA Finals, bro.
That's a you problem.
I'm just saying, we had an excuse. Bro, we had a trade at the end of the trade deadline, bro. You had your squad for the whole year. What are you talking about?
You had a whole season to get a 5
Kawhi he only played 30 games this year.
Well, I know that. Kawhi Leonard is important. But I'm saying, bro. Same superstar for the same team. We put Luka on a new squad.
You had all season to get a 5-man. All season.
Ron, this is a serious day of basketball. Today's a serious day, Ron.
Every day's a serious day of basketball. But I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out why we're still acting like Kawhi wasn't hooping, though.
Do he know that?
I don't know
what I say. It's not serious.
I'm trying to figure out why we're acting like Kawhi wasn't hooping. He got you 25 points, damn near 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and he shot 50, 40,
83,
70 from the field.
Oh, so I thought it was 80. My fault.
50, 40, 77 to be exact. Kawhi was balling.
Like, are we just
the fact? Wait, hold on.
I was watching right, but Kawhi was balling.
You're right. Go ahead,
real quick. My thing about it is there's no excuse for losing in the first round. Sure. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just, and y'all know how I feel about it. It might just be sentimental. It might just be sentimental, and I'm trying not to be a sentimental guy, but I can't help it because for the past 2 years, it's been Kawhi should retire. Kawhi this, Kawhi that. So for me to see Kawhi, for me to see Kawhi come through for the playoffs and score over 20 points for all 7 games and lose, I'm still like, yo, Kawhi played good basketball. This is a good sign that Kawhi can still play ball. I'm not trying to give no excuses or nothing. You lose in the first round, in my eyes, that's a stain. That's a stain. Like that's you can't overlook that.
I have a serious question.
There's no run. There is no excuse. James Harden needs the ball. James Harden needs the my. This is my issue, Ron. My issue is that I fucking let James Harden convince me that he wasn't James Harden anymore, and this is why I fucking hate this dude because of shit like this. Yo, I'm not even gonna talk about James Harden. I'm gonna leave it alone, right?
You might not. I will. Kawhi, yes. Kawhi, you have all the bail you need. Is it $1 million bail? 10 million?
But why does
whatever you need, I'm giving it to you because Kawhi balled. Because Kawhi did his job.
Yeah, but
because Kawhi did his job.
Let me ask you.
Okay, no. Let me ask you. If in the next series, Jamal Murray averages 27 points, Michael Porter Jr. gives you 20, but Jokic doesn't show up and do his job. who are you going to criticize and who are you going to give praise to?
Two things are not the same thing, Ron.
He's gonna criticize he gonna criticize the coach.
Oh, okay, then criticize the coach. But I know what you're not going to do. You're not going to criticize Jamal Murray, and you're not going to criticize Michael Porter Jr. for doing more than expected.
Well, hold on. Kawhi Leonard's the best player on the team.
He played like the best player on the team.
Ron, if we're going
why are we not criticizing Zubac? Why isn't Zubac getting no criticism?
Man, this is just
because Zubac showed up and balled out.
Ron.
James Harden did not show up. I don't know what you like. Why are we overlooking that?
Time out. Oh, hold on. But
hold on. What? He did not show up.
Do in game 7?
Phil, why are you doing that? He did not show up.
Go ahead, Swipe. I'm sorry.
Is that a crazy question? You can blame James Harden.
This is something new.
We
literally just had this conversation about James Harden not too long ago. And Mars came to James Harden's defense about what James Harden is in the playoffs. We consistently on this panel roast James Harden in the playoffs. Consistently. What are you talking about?
So why are we asking?
I hate James Harden.
Why are we asking other questions? And why are we? So why are we asking other questions? And why are we starting with Swiper saying little things about Kawhi? We need to be talking about James. I'm saying Kawhi balled out this series.
I hate James Harden.
For Kawhi to even get any type of slander or any type of side eyes,
or ask you follow-up questions. I'm saying you believe he played well. I'm saying last game, for instance, in game 7, what do you feel like he did to impact that game? And even when it was turning badly, what do you feel like he did? Do you feel like he didn't have the ability to do more to affect the turnout of game 7?
Swiper, so when the Nuggets went on a
very direct question, Ron.
And I'm answering it, chill. And I'm answering it. So when the Nuggets went on a 15-0 run, what did you want Kawhi to do? Go on a 15-0 run by himself after that?
Involved in the game, do something.
But he didn't. He wasn't guarding. Like I'm saying, was the defense what it needed to be? Was the shot making what it needed to be? Was the play making was the defensive play making? Do you feel like in the third quarter could he have done more? Could he have done more to influence what happened in the third quarter?
I guess he could have.
What do you guess, Ron?
I said what I said, Chill. I guess he could have shut down the whole thing by himself.
Ron, here's why we're bringing this. Here's why I'm bringing this up in particular. We haven't seen Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs in almost 5 years, right? Consistently. In almost 5 years, we haven't seen Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs. The last time we saw him in the playoffs, the last time we saw, no, I'm talking about consistently throughout the playoffs. The last time we saw him in the playoffs, healthy, he got busy. We just saw him in game 2 go for what he went off on. So when he comes back, immediately the consensus is Leonard is back, and not back like you say he's back or just being here. I'm talking about Kawhi Leonard.
He was getting back. Best in the world conversation.
He's
Mars.
back.
Haven't we been saying Kawhi's back since February?
He's back.
Yeah.
I don't understand what that has to do with this though.
Game two was an amazing showing. That's not nobody's gonna do that for 7 straight games. Who's gonna do that? Okay, with that type of efficiency,
let me answer that. This is what I have to. This is an angle you guys are not looking at.
I'm asking real ball knowledge. I'm asking you.
Listen, this is an angle you're not looking at. Real quick, hold on. This is an angle you guys are not looking at when it comes to this, bro. Let me just say this real quick, and you guys can have the conversation, right?
Go ahead, Dan.
When it comes to James Harden, bro, how many superstars in today's league is going to play a superstar role for a team and then allow a guy to come back 30 games into the season to be the actual superstar of the team, and he's not going to perform in the playoffs? There's not that many other superstars that's going to sign up for that role. James Harden's role all season is to be the guy until Kawhi Leonard comes back from injury. How many guys are going to continue to keep taking the blame for something, and then they also get told they're not the best player on the squad? So again, Kawhi Leonard is in a bad place right now. He can't play the whole season. He can't carry a whole team for a whole entire season. And then on top of that, inside the playoffs, he needs the most. And in Game 7, he plays awful. So again, bro, Kawhi Leonard and James Harden is probably going to split, and the Clippers are in a bad business. Go ahead. And I am a ball knowledge, Ox.
My bad, Dion. That was rude, bro. I shouldn't have said that.
You good, bro? I'm chilling, bro.
My bad. I didn't mean to call you
know what I'm
Cosby
on
earlier. My bad. I shouldn't have called you Bill Cosby.
I'm not apologizing for nothing.
I called you Bill Cosby.
But Ox, to answer your question, when I think that's the standard.
You call me Ray Charles, bro. Come on, bro. I'm here, bro.
Even if I don't expect Kawhi Leonard to shoot 75 or 80% from the floor. No, I don't expect that. But when you haven't seen him for such a long time, and then he comes back and gives you that kind of performance, that's a glimpse of what it could be. Maybe he is back to what he was. Maybe he is back to who he used to be. And that's what is expected of him. So now, to Bron's point, when he's averaging 25 a game, that 25 doesn't look like the 25 it was when he was averaging that in 2017 in the playoffs. It looks different than the 25 he was averaging in the playoffs in 2000 in the bubble. It looks a lot different. It's not the same because the athleticism isn't there. He doesn't run fast as he used to. He's still sharp. Well, right, he's still sharp. I'm not going to argue that point. But
Kawhi is a primary, and I think you would agree with this, Chill. Even in the 21 series, Kawhi Leonard's shot making has always been his thing. Like it's the defense, but it was the fact that he was an over the top shooter.
Yeah,
and like that, like in the post score, and that's what Ox loves about him, and rightly so. Like he's always been really good.
He did that this series though. Yeah, he was
doing
that.
But I'm saying though is that he also there are other things that he lacks. Like I think the fact that he is not a true playmaker is an issue, and it cost him. Like the fact that he cannot consistently create advantages for other people.
Everything.
Well, I think that's what I'm saying. Like there are players that are tasked with that.
Go ahead. My bad.
So that's what I'm saying. There are players that are tasked with that. I'm saying James wasn't good enough in his role. I do agree with you, but I think some of this, and like, because somebody in the chat said we haven't even got to Norman Powell, we haven't got to the fact that Chris Dunn started the series off great, and then was nowhere to be seen down the stretch because he just he couldn't play. Batum was really good, and then Game 7, he was not good, and then it just shifted. Now defensively, he's a monster. Like I don't, it didn't affect the second half at all, but he had some nice blocks and stuff there. Basically Hassan Whiteside in the second half. So some of this is like, are how with the Clippers and the way they play, their biggest thing is they are a legit defense. And they put so much pressure on you and make it impossible for you to score. But once the Nuggets figured out how to score consistently versus that team, especially at the rim, Chill, I mean, it was just like, now they're collapsing on everybody. And then once Christian Brown got hot, Russell Westbrook shot 42% from 3 in the series. Jamal started spacing the floor. Michael Porter started spacing the floor. Aaron Gordon, at some point, he was not only mismatch hunting Harden, y'all, he was mismatch hunting Kawhi in the post in Game 7. And like, so some of this is AG just like took it to another level with the physicality. And like I said, Jokic started 0 of 5, and I think he ended the game 6 of 8 from the field, but he just didn't need to play crazy in the second half. I just think that the team caught up to what the Clippers do well, and I think once they got comfortable, Chill, that's when the series really changed, and that's when the game changed in Game 7.
A lot of it too, though. A lot of it too.
Right quick, Ox. We gonna come right back. I just gotta let you guys know about a place that's lovelier than this beautiful beach that I'm on. It's called PrizePicks, and here you can run your game, control your game, and ultimately with PrizePicks, you can win your game. Now, here's also the good thing about PrizePicks that you might not know, but now you're gonna know. When you play just $5, you will get $50 back instantly when you use promo code PANEL. And today is Cinco de Mayo, right? Right. Well, on PrizePicks, they have this thing called Cinco de Buste. And with Cinco de Buste, you can celebrate Cinco de Mayo with PrizePicks, as you can find access to 5 different payout boosts, each limited to a specific sport, but it's going to be available this Monday afternoon. So whether you are playing NBA, MLB, whatever the case may be, you can level up your lineup with the May 5th boost on PrizePicks. So don't forget to tap into Cinco de Buste today on PrizePicks right now. Underlay. But as of right now, we have a nice little contest that we decided to join. Big Ox, would you like to talk about this?
Yeah, I'll do it real quick. Today is PRA Day. I know you said it was Cinco de Mayo, but it's really PRA Day. And we're gonna go with both games today, and all 4 teams get somebody. Al Horford will kick it off for the Boston Celtics with more than 14 points, rebounds, and assists. OG Anunoby will kick it off for the Knickerbockers with more than 22.5 PRA. Jamal Lester Murray will kick it off for the Denver Nuggets with less than 30.5 PRA. And Alex Caruso will kick it off for the OKC Thunder with more than 13.5 PRA. Swiper, I just want to say, when I made this, I was being petty, and I only did that because we hadn't made up yet. I was just being petty.
I mean,
hell no. Hey, that list gonna hit like crack.
Yeah, game 1 might be OKC by 20.
Yeah, and I did take that into account too, that they did just go into a tough 7-game series, but I wasn't going to do that with Jokic because Jokic at any moment can have 70 PRA. So I was just like, let me just go with it.
Y'all offense can't keep up again, bro. If you look at this series, bro,
I think the Nuggets will win this series.
Offense can't keep up with OKC.
No, y'all offense can't keep up with OKC, bro.
Well, that's not
why you're going for one of the mid. Second half scorer, offensive scorers for the Clippers. OKC is one of the best second half scorers inside of the NBA. Your offense is not going to be able to keep up with those guys. I'm going to just let you know that right now. You're not going to be able to. Listen, bro, you win 7 games with that trash team. You're not going to be able to go.
Why are the Clippers trash?
Dion, let's discuss.
Why are the Clippers trash all of a sudden?
Let's discuss it, bro. You said what?
Why are the Clippers trash all of a sudden?
It's just more of we know who James Harden is in Game 7 clutch games. We know what those guys are going to do down the stretch, you know what I'm saying, in third quarter, in the fourth quarter. So, again, with OKC, bro, they're being one of the best fourth quarter and third quarter scoring teams inside the league. And on top of them, having one of the best defenses in the league, you guys are going to struggle a lot. So, I hope you're ready to go home, buddy.
Dion, did we not, first and foremost, SGA has not played good in these playoffs, first of all. Number 2, last season, did we not see him make a bonehead play down the stretch? So what is indicative of SGA?
Well, that's the scary part. They're scoring, 120 points, 118 points, 130 points inside of these games with their best scorer not providing his normal offense. And on top of that, you're gonna act like Denver had the defenders on the perimeter as the team that they was playing. I mean, their defenders are gonna have Jamal Murray on SGA and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna go well. You guys don't. Listen. I think you guys' defense is trash. You know what I'm saying? You guys had a decent defensive series the first round, but you're not gonna have a good defensive series next round because you got to have actual OKC hoopers.
Who did Memphis have guarding SGA? Who were the good defenders they used?
I mean, they used Bane. He used guys like that. So I mean. It's okay.
Scottie Pippen Jr. was guarding shit.
I mean, Scottie Pippen. Okay, that's cool, but that's totally fine with me. But again, bro, they have more. OKC, they have more defenders.
OKC or Memphis?
They have more. I would say the Denver Nuggets, let's call it, defense doesn't have the same defenders as Grizzlies Memphis.
Is Memphis' defense better on the perimeter than Denver's defense?
Yes.
You think so?
I think so. Absolutely.
Who on the perimeter defensively is better than Christian Brown on Memphis?
Well, I think you would say Scottie.
I'll have to say, I mean, I think as a collective, I wouldn't say there's more of a personnel. I think as a collective, defensively on the perimeter, they're better. I think they have better communication. I mean, I know they had a bad series, but I think Denver Nuggets don't really have that many defenders. I know you named Christian, that's okay. But to me, I think he's an okay defender on the perimeter. You know, I think it's more of a collective. I think the Denver Nuggets don't have that communication level as much as like Memphis. You know, Memphis didn't have a good series, but look at them for the entire regular season. They had a better defense. So that's all I'm saying. I think, you know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't come down to personnel. If you want to say personnel, I'd definitely give it to Denver.
All right. So,
Mars, we have yet to hear from you in depth. I want to hear how you feel about this Thunder versus Nuggets series. Who do you have and why? And what do you think will happen?
I got Denver. My best player is better than your best player. Denver, OKC can't guard.
Y'all dudes say that. Y'all think that's ridiculous. It's not.
I just watched it. Steph Curry, my best player better than your best player.
It's not ridiculous. I say that. I don't understand.
I just watched it with Indiana. My best player better than your best player. So I think we've seen it.
Not remotely true.
We've seen it.
Well, to be fair, in the playoff, Mars is right. I mean, to be fair, Hallie's been cooking this whole playoff, so you know.
Bro, give Giannis that type of team, bro. Come on, man.
I'm not talking about the Bucks. I'm talking about last night, game 1.
You're talking about last night, game 1 in particular.
So calm down.
Last night.
You talking about? I thought the whole playoff. So we're talking about just game 1, or we're talking about the whole playoff?
I'm talking about the game that happened.
Because that's one game. You saying it like you saying like a series. Because Giannis is better than Tyrese. You know that, bro. Okay, then. So your best player, no, it hasn't been my best player beat your best player. That has been the case.
I used the example.
And I think LeBron and I think Luka's better than Ant. Let's be real. And I mean, it was more of a collective. The Minnesota beat the Lakers because they had a big man. Am I correct. So again, my best player was not better than your best player. But I mean, you guys want to say Ant's better than Brian? I mean, go ahead. But we all know that's not true.
Anthony Edwards played better than.
Down the stretch, we had an energy because our players are exerting energy for 3 quarters. While his player and his teammates go crazy. We know that.
It was better than your best player.
My best player is better than your best.
No, their team was better. LeBron's better than Ant, and Luka's better than Ant, bro. Their team was better. We had 2 of the best 3 players, but you guys had a better team. That's why we was running at 5 for the whole 4th quarter.
You just said that your boys ran out of gas.
Because we're running 5 players. Yes, you're correcting me.
Right. Okay, I can appreciate you guys running 5 players, but Anthony Edwards down the stretch, because you ran 5 players, even though Anthony Edwards, you didn't do that the entire series. Let's be clear about that. You did go to your bench. You did play rotation guys. You did that
barely.
one game.
Like what? One guy? One or two guys? Barely, bro.
You still did.
We literally barely played our starting center, bro. No, we didn't, bro.
Yes, but you did. And the point is,
compared to Minnesota has 9 deep guys, 9 to 10 guys.
Well, you still ran out of gas.
Listen. If you swap LeBron and Ant, bro, they win a series too. And the reason, and let me say this: the reason why he scored in the 4th quarter.
I want to. Oh my goodness, this is nuts.
Go ahead, and I'll respond because I have some heat for you. But if you want to keep talking, go ahead.
Your team, Anthony Edwards, outlasted LeBron James. He played better than him down the stretch. It wasn't just because James was out of.
But why is that? Why is that?
I'm telling you right now, it wasn't just because James.
Can you ask him for me? Why was LeBron better than Ant in that series? Please.
I'll tell you.
Why was LeBron better than Ant in that series?
First of all, LeBron James during the entire basically game is a better scorer. He's the best defender in that series. When we talk about a single-handed best defender, LeBron was the best defender inside of that series.
He was. No, he wasn't. I thought I was the only one that's seen it. I thought I was the only one
that was better, but LeBron was better. And let me say this: the reason why, let me tell you this: the reason why LeBron and Luka, the best 4th quarter scorers inside the playoffs, couldn't score in the 4th quarter is because they was out of gas by the 4th quarter because they're playing the whole game. Ant could actually relax and let guys like Nas Reed, let guys like Mike Conley, let guys like that, let guys like there's other guys on that Minnesota team that can perform. Julius Randle was going to play out of his mind. So again, Ant can take a step back and let his other guys perform. And then in the 4th quarter, he has the energy to perform. Imagine LeBron James, imagine Austin Reeves showing up and LeBron can take a step back for 3 quarters and then he can only perform in the 4th quarter. He had to be the best defender on the squad. He had no energy going to the 4th. Ant had a lot of energy because he had more deeper rosters. That's simple.
He wasn't able to perform because Anthony Edwards was covering him and he slowed him down. So let's not make it sound like
that's true. But 2 things be true at the same time. Yeah, that's right. But he didn't show up.
It's not that he didn't show up. He got shut down. That's the point. And the reason
he didn't show up. It's not better offensive players. Even though they got better defensive, they're going to show up still. Everybody in the playoffs play defense better. He didn't show up.
Player was better than your best player. I want to get back.
Get back to that.
You got it, chill.
No, Mars was talking about
the OKC Nuggets series.
My
why
best
the best player is
going
to win in the series.
Oh yeah, I got Denver. My best player better than your best player. All that stuff. Denver have played a physical brand of defense. I'm yet to see Shea overcome said physical brand of defense. OKC can't guard Jokic. They send a lot of double teams. He picks that apart. With the way guys have been shooting for Denver, whether that be MPJ, Russell Westbrook, Christian Brown in Game 7, they're gonna have to make shots. Obviously, you're not gonna win not making threes, but assuming they do, with the shots that Jokic can inevitably create, I expect Hartenstein to spend a lot of time in foul trouble because he's going to be the primary Jokic defender, which means you're going to end up having to go to a lot of minutes of Chet guarding Jokic, which means you take away his value as a rim protector, roaming and all that stuff. And I think that's going to open up Aaron Gordon for the dunks and all of those things. And then on the other side, we're at a point where Denver are going to force OKC's role players to make threes. I think that's fairly obvious. They're going to blitz Shea, force the ball out of his hands. They're going to force those corner passes, probably to a Ludor, Aaron Wiggins, and they're going to have to show that they can make threes. If they can, then you tip your hat. If they can't, Denver in 5. If they do, Denver in 7. That's where I'm at.
But but Oklahoma City does such a good job in turning defense into offense. And I thought Jamal Murray down the stretch of a lot of those games, he did an awful job in taking care of the basketball. So if he's going to do that against this Oklahoma City team, that's going to be a huge problem. a huge problem for them. So he's got to do a better job in taking care of the basketball. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that, considering how switchable and how many different bodies they're going to throw at him. Because I mean, he did have his way at times with Christian Dunn, but he also struggled with him too. So now we're going to throw Caruso on him. Now we're going to throw Lou Dort on him. We're going to throw a bunch of different guys on him. And Oklahoma City's rotations, particularly in the gaps, are fantastic. So Jamal Murray's going to have to do a better job at taking care of the basketball. I understand your logic about Joker being on the box and them doubling him, and he wants to play like that because he's going to pick this team apart. Right? Because we got guys like Aaron Gordon diving to the rim. We got guys like Christian Brown fading at the long ball line. I can definitely appreciate that. But if anybody can recover defensively, Oklahoma City definitely can do that. And now when we get to the offensive end, I'm on your page with Chet, but I think Chet's X factor is his ability to stretch the defense and his ability to get downhill. And when he gets downhill and he gets to the rim, he puts a lot of pressure on that front line in Denver, which for all intents and purposes can be had. We've seen that with what Zubac did. So if I can get Hartenstein in the mid post, if I can get Chet getting downhill, I think you put a lot of pressure on that Denver defense.
I don't think Chet's going to do much getting downhill. MPJ is probably going to guard him if I had to guess. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's going to get downhill a whole lot.
How do you feel about that matchup with him? A hobbled.
He bullied Chet a couple times in the regular season, which I thought.
Yeah, Chet doesn't have a physical advantage. It's a bad shoulder, MPJ. That doesn't change that he's stronger than Chet.
I don't know.
They're both kind of skinny.
I think Chet. It's gonna be barbecue chicken, bro. Straight barbecue chicken. I think Chet will average like 20 plus if you put MP on him the whole series. Let's be realistic.
Well, that would be a good thing. That means he's shooting a ball a lot.
Yeah, that means Shea's not taking shots.
I mean, they have a lot of options. I mean, I think Shea can average 30 and Chet can average 24. I don't see the problem with that.
What's J-Dub doing?
He can do 18, 19, whatever it takes.
Enough. That's not enough. Nope. That's not enough.
Well, I mean,
they got a whole. They have more
Shea give you 30,
so.
Chet give you 24, and J-Dub average 18. That's not good enough.
No, that's not enough, Ron.
Y'all crazy.
So what? Shea gonna average 40, and J-Dub gonna average 30.
That's not averaging a damn 24.
Let's be clear. Let's start there.
Let's start there. Deion said though, and you guys said it wasn't enough.
No, Chill said
it wasn't enough.
I said J-Dub's 18. I said J-Dub's 18 ain't enough. I don't think
the third scorer.
I don't think that, but see, that's the thing. I don't think he's going to be the third scorer.
What is going to be?
I think he's going to have to be the second scorer. I don't think that.
So they got two top two scorers on their roster that can be both options can score and be the best scorer at any given night. Plus, the best scorer inside the league in SGA. I mean, they have a lot of scores, bro.
Okay, nobody's arguing the scoring aspect of it. No, I'm not arguing that. What I am arguing is that 18 a game from J-Dub in this series, I don't think Chet's going to go for 24 games. Because if Chet's going to go for 24 game, then I mean, I think that's saying a lot. If you're going to get J-Dub in this series at 22 to 24 a game, that's what I think is necessary against this Denver team. Like 18 is not enough. He's going to have to get downhill.
Manning that second unit, Chet's going to have to score. So I can understand that. He's going to be the primary option when Shea goes out of the game. So he's the most likely for me to score 20 plus in this series, for sure. But Hart's fouls are going to be very valuable this series. Like iHeart has,
and I think that I think that's a big deal with Hartenstein being foul prone like he is. To take him out of the game where he's got to sit for stretches, and then now just have Chet being your primary just rim protector and post defender on Joker primarily is definitely going to be problematic for them dudes. Definitely.
Yeah, low. Versus OKC, you have to keep the turnovers low. Because again, in the first two games versus Memphis, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say they had 68 fast break points in the first two games versus Memphis. First three, one of them. Like it just, that can't happen. Like you have to not turn the ball over. So Russ is going to be important. And again, I want to give Russ crazy credit. Remember, there was a 25-game stretch where he was averaging 5 turnovers a game. Russ is averaging 2 turnovers this playoffs. He's being extremely smart with the ball. He's not gambling a whole lot. He's being very, I think, decisive in his decision making, and he's super confident right now. And Chill, I think that matters. Like the Nuggets have to have somebody off the bench that can score. So if Russ can at least provide some value as a scorer, as a defender, as a playmaker, as a rebounder, offensive rebounder especially, and him and Michael Porter Jr. are going to be interchangeable in those second in closing minutes, just depending on who's playing the best and all that, or even Christian Brown. Like, I think this is going to be a really interesting series. I think OKC walks game 1, though, like tonight. I just don't think Denver's going to have the legs to do it. But if they do, I'm not going to lie to you, this is not going to happen. But if Denver did win tonight, I would sit them for game 2 and get 3 days of rest. Yeah, bro. Like,
So
I mean,
just got
they're
going to
have to.
so you
they're gonna have to find some rest somewhere, Mars. Because it's every other day until game 6.
Swiper, these are professional athletes.
Stop by here.
I'm not being for real. But I'm saying, like, you want them to get rest. Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but to be fair, y'all might hate this and y'all might disagree. But 48 minutes is not that much for a professional athlete.
Sure.
It's really not.
And then you're doing therapy in between games.
Yeah, like these guys, they got top of the line, trainers and medical staffs and all of this stuff. Like they'll be good.
I agree with you for the most part, Ron, about the fact that, because I always say that these are world-class athletes.
Right.
But I do think, I'm not gonna say you're being disingenuous, but I'm gonna say I think you being laying on a little thick around, like it's gonna wear on these dudes that are playing heavy minutes, like it's supposed to, though, because when you're a world-class athlete, you got to play through fatigue. You know what I'm saying? I get that, but they got to find some rest somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Especially, like I said, most of these dudes are playing.
They got rest yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday. I hope these dudes went to church. I hope they paid their tithes. I hope they got a chance to kick their feet up, ice their knees, spend some good time with their family. They got a whole 24 hours of rest. They don't play till later tonight. They got all morning to rest. These dudes got,
right, but
48 hours is more than enough time. I think more than enough.
I think that rest is enough to get you through and be able to perform, be able to play basketball. But fatigue is going to set in as we get deeper into the playoffs. And I think this round right here is where fatigue is going to start to show, where it's going to show the difference between who's great and who's more great. You know what I'm saying? Like these dudes, and I think this is a part of the experience thing that we've been talking about all year. You know what I'm saying? Where younger. Well, for everybody, and I'm this isn't a shot at OKC or anything like that, but I'm saying when you've been through this, like Jamal has, like Jokic has, like Russ has, some of these dudes that have been to the playoffs a bunch of times, you're gonna know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna know, get off your feet. You know what I'm saying? Some of these youngsters might be like, oh man, we can go play cornhole today or something like that. Like that, for you, these are the things you got to know about off the court in between days. Like, nah, you can't do that. You got to get your feet up. You got to go use that app. Let somebody else walk your dog. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And it's real. Like when you got one game every other day, and you're a guy that's gonna play 25 plus minutes. Nah, bro, you got to sit it down. Your ankles are gonna be hurting. Your knees are gonna be sore. Your hips, your shoulders. You know what I'm saying? All your joints. You know what I'm saying? You got to get in that ice bath. You got to take care of yourself, because to your point, Ron, these are world-class athletes, but basketball is a contact sport. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna bang, you're gonna have to run up and down on that hardwood. It's gonna get to you as you get deeper into the playoffs.
Do you think this is what I'll say about Yoke. Yoke is and Chauncey Billups has said this, is one of the most conditioned athletes in the sport, because he obviously, like, he trains every day after the game. Like he's always ready to go for whatever. But I do think, again, they're going to be wearing on him. But again, I truly mean this. They're not going to wear him like Zoo was. I think people just have underestimated, like, Zoo over the last 5 years in terms of just, like, because as Ox said, Zoo is huge. He's smart. He's gifted. He's very good with his feet. iHeart, respectfully, is not Zoo. Honestly, at all. iHeart's a good defender, but he's not Zoo. And I think some of this is, like, Jokic is almost going to be able to take a little bit of a breath, just because not having to deal with, remember, even in the Clipper series, Docs, and were you a Kawhi fan at this point in the bubbles at that point, or were you?
Nah, he wasn't.
I don't know.
Ron, don't answer no questions for me. I've been a Kawhi Leonard fan since 2010.
No, shout out, yeah.
Since 2009, since 2008. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Yeah, Kawhi been him. But go ahead.
Well, remember, Zoo in that series was the one that played Jokic the best out of, Harrell and all that other stuff. So I think that getting rest, but also optimizing your minutes, the bench unit is going to have to play well. This is probably going to be an Aaron Gordon small ball 5 situation, Mars. I don't know if you agree with that. Do you think they're going to play DJ Or do you think they play Aaron Gordon straight out versus
Aaron
the
Gordon.
second unit?
Aaron Gordon. That's
So
so
probably
Aaron Gordon personally. I don't, because I think OKC goes small when Jokic is out of the game too. So you just match it with speed and physicality and all of that stuff. So I don't want to see DeAndre Jordan at any point personally, not one time, but we'll see.
Yo, I want to get everybody's prediction. So Mars told us that he has the Nuggets in 5 or 7, depending on certain circumstances and scenarios. Dion, who you rocking with in this series, and who do you have in how many games and why?
I have OKC in 5 games. I just think they're better on offense and defense. I think a huge problem is I think one of the reasons why, again, Denver Nuggets got to the next series is because Russell Westbrook had a decent series. Everything that he had an advantage of in that series, he's not going to have an advantage in this series. A lot of guys on OKC are more aggressive. They play more defense. You know what I'm saying? They're just as physical as Russell Westbrook. And they're also one of the best teams at the turnover ratio as well. So I think Russ is probably going to average around 5 turnovers a game if he gets the same minutes he was getting in the last series. So
do you think?
I think OKC
guard
5. Hey, I'm not done talking, bro.
Well, I was asking you a follow-up.
The question wasn't for you, bro. Be quiet, dog. How about that? How about that? Be quiet, but be quiet. I don't need a follow-up question, bro. That's not the question. Ron asking.
Keep going, Dion. Damn, keep going.
Yeah, you heard. Yeah,
all right, so keep going. Oh, we heard you. So keep going.
Again, like I said, I got them in 5. Yeah, you relax too, OG. Again, I got them in 5. They better. I'm good, Ron. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate it.
So anytime, Dion.
Do you think they're gonna guard Russ differently? Like, or are they gonna stay on Russ? Think guard him off ball? Like,
man, they have too many guys, man. They one of the best switchable teams in the league, bro. They're gonna want Russ to have the basketball, bro. They know he can't make high IQ decisions, bro. We have the better coach. We have everything that the team needs to perform to make Russ, turn the ball over. So again, we're gonna speed him up. Get Jokic, tired, throw a whole bunch of buys at him, and then again, he's going to have to guard on the offensive end, you know what I'm saying? Chet's going to be out there, and we have Hartenstein, so Hartenstein's going to be getting buckets too. So again, man, so OKC is just a better overall team, bro. They're not going 7 games with this team. It's probably 5 games, and if it's a sweep, I wouldn't be surprised either.
Yeah, did everybody else make their predictions already?
No,
I'm done. Here, go ahead. You got a question?
I do want to. Can I go, Dion?
No, Ox, it's on me next. Then it's on Chill. Okay. Then it's on Swiper.
I'm gonna shut the hell up.
Nah. Go ahead.
Man. I personally, I don't think OKC is really gonna fluster Jamal. You know what I'm saying? Like the pressure. I'm not worried about Jamal. Also, if Russell Westbrook, when Russ doesn't have to do all the things that Dion was talking about, like having to do all the extra thinking, that's when he's impactful. Like when Russ is just out here just to score, you know what I'm saying, and be a spark plug off the bench, that's when he's impactful. When he has to make extra decisions and do all the passing, which he shouldn't have to do if Jamal and Jokic are out there, he's actually impactful. I think this is going to be a good series. I think Denver probably going to have to win in 7. So I think Denver's going to have to go 7 games, 7 games back to back. In order to beat OKC, I think I'm comfortable saying Denver in 7. It's gonna be a good series though. I'm in. With that being said though, Coach Dagenhart, y'all make no mistake. He was paying attention very closely to that series that we just watched. He had. I believe he's gonna have something drawn up for game 1. I believe OKC will probably kick Denver's ass tonight, but I think Denver will probably get this one in 7. Jokic should have one of those monster series against these guys.
Okay, Chill.
I have Oklahoma City in 6. I think the turnovers are going to be the difference in this series more than anything. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder do such a great job in forcing turnovers and turning that defense into offense. And more often than not, when Denver's offense stalls because of turning the basketball over, I think that's going to be the difference in the series. I think that with Denver running their offense through Joker's going to do everything that he can to keep those guys involved. But because Oklahoma City rotates so well and Oklahoma City shoots gaps as well as they do, and how good they are playing one-on-one, when I got a guy like Alex Caruso being able to sit in the chair in front of Jamal Murray, being able to navigate through screens, I don't think that we're going to see nearly as many switches And I don't think that we're going to see nearly as many mismatches because Oklahoma City is so good at being able to navigate through screens and get around screens and stay with your guy. I think that the turnovers are going to be the difference in this series. I take Oklahoma City in 6.
So do you think Jamal's going to have to be a distributor this series in order for them to win? Like Jamal's going to have to be the one that sets his what do y'all say? Makes the plate or sets the table, whatever.
I actually think it's going to be the opposite of that, Ox, because I don't think that there's going to be many avenues open for him. So I think that he's going to be more in one-on-one matches, and I think that him being more in one-on-one matches because a lot of lanes aren't going to be open, a lot of guys aren't going to be open. So I think he's going to have to be more of a scorer in this series than he's been in the past.
Really, I think if they go that route, they get spanked.
Amen.
That's just because of the respect I got for Alex Caruso and in those dudes over there. I got big respect for them as far as being one-on-one defenders on the perimeter and just having extra help out there on the perimeter. I think of Jamal, and once again, we all know Jamal is a tough shot maker, but I just don't think they can count on that in this series.
And the avenues and the different amount of guys that they have to throw at Jamal Murray. So like you can have Lou Dort play him. You can have Lou Dort cover him for a time. You can have SGA deal with him for a time. You can have Alex Caruso deal with him for a time. You can have Cason Wallace deal with him for a time. And I feel like that could wear on him throughout the course of the game and throughout the course of that offense. So, and I've already seen Jamal Murray not be as good as I'd like for him to be taking care of the basketball. I can't reiterate it enough. I think that taking care of the basketball in this series is going to be the difference in this series. And I think that Oklahoma City does a better job than Denver. That's why I think they're going to win in 6 games.
Swiper, you have the Nuggets in 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to elaborate? Would you care to explain why you have it?
Yeah, I think as the series goes on, the Nuggets have proven consistently they get better once they figure out what you're doing. And I think they also have proven that they're able to scale up what they're doing on both ends of the ball just simply because they're creating so many advantages. And it sounds like a crazy number, but I did post this in the NBA playoffs so far. The Nuggets they scored versus one of the 3 best rim protecting teams in the sport right now, maybe 2 actually, right behind OKC. They scored 133 layups and dunks in this series. Like they just attack the rim like consistently in transition in the half court. A lot of this is just simply because of the way Joker plays at the high level, and and again, iHeart has to stay out of foul trouble, but that's the thing, Chill. I don't know if he will. So
that's what I was about to ask you, Swiper, because you just talked about with the Clippers, them attacking the rim. Do you think that with them attacking the rim against Oklahoma City is going to be less difficult?
Well, no, I think they're just going to have to drive. They're going to have to drive and create contact at the rim. And some of this is what Hart doesn't do as well as Zoo is he doesn't move as well off ball, like guarding Jokic off ball, and he doesn't know his tendencies as much. Jokic is going to move a lot, and he's going to basically force Hart to be on the move backside, or he's going to cross face him, or even just coming off a double drag underneath the basket, that double screen he runs to get to the midi. He's going to do the pump fake, drive to the basket. He's going to try to drive, get him off angles, pump fake, and get him up in the air. And then if he gets him to that point, and I think the issue is Chet cannot guard Joker. I think that like over a course of a series, he's going to figure out those matchups even more. I think Jamal gets more comfortable as the series goes on. They're going to find their mark. And I don't know how much Cason Wallace or Isaiah Joe plays, but because they're smaller in their stature, Jamal in particular is going to look for those opportunities to play versus them. He's going to look for opportunities to guard against, have SGA as his primary defender, put him in pick and roll. And again, not because he's a bad defender. It's just what's the easiest route here? It's getting SGA, extending the defense. Also, too, I don't know what OKC does defensively. Are they going to play traditional defense, which is like drop, ice, hedge? Are they going to send multiple bodies at Jokic? Are they going to try to like crowd and confuse the same way the Clippers did? I mean, we'll find out. Like some of this is going to come down to – go ahead.
Well, I don't think that we can just leave Chet one-on-one with Joker. I don't think that we can do that. And we can't do that.
They will. Though.
I'm not saying that. They won't. I don't think that we can. I don't think we can stick with that throughout the course of the entire game. No, we definitely have to send help because there's going to come a time when Joker's going to wear on him, right? And we all know that Joker playing one-on-one, that's not particularly something that he loves unless it's within the offense. We all know that. But if I'm going to leave Chet one-on-one with Joker, if I'm cleaning the whole left side of the floor out, if I'm cleaning the whole right side of the floor out, that's a recipe for disaster because he's going to pound on Chet. And we've seen Chet in terms of his stature. That focus, Ron. We seen Chet in terms of his stature for Joker leaning on him all night, for Joker leaning on him and banging on him and pushing him around, that's going to wear on him. And that's going to affect his rim protection. That's going to affect his rebounding. That's going to affect him on the offensive end. So I don't think that they could just leave him on Joker primarily one-on-one, because I think that's a recipe for disaster.
Well, it's just more so to gamble. Like, what are they going to choose to give up? And to, if they're going to play off of Russ, off of Christian Brown, then sure, they're going to have to make their shots. Yeah. But again, I do think as the series gets later, like if it's 2-2, like now that's going to be the situation, right? They have to split home and away. If it's 2-2, now the series
have to split home and away, and that's the thing that I'm asking you, Swiper, because I get so wrapped up in hearing people say this. Do they have to? All they got to do is, if let's just say they give up both of these games in Oklahoma City, is it ridiculous to think that Denver can't go home and win both of their games? And now all the pressure goes to Oklahoma City, because now we got a game 5 in your building. You're facing an elimination game. You lose. Now you got to go on the road and face an elimination game. So is it ridiculous for me to think that Denver can hold serve as just as well as Oklahoma City can hold serve?
I mean, they can. You just like that's the most ideal situation. Like you obviously want to have at least a win in OKC going back, because at that point now it's like now you're playing with house money in game 3, and then you want to get game 4. But the basic thing is going into game 5, the Nuggets want it to be 2-2. 3-1, I think is too much. 2-2, then I think it's like we're in a series now, and that's kind of how the Dallas OKC series went last year. So it's going to depend. SJ, what kind of series you're going to have? They're going to make him a pull-up jump shooter. Is he going to make those jump shots? That's going to be really important. The Nuggets, I will say, they did a great job of not fouling James Harden. That's going to be a huge storyline. It's just keeping him away from the free throw line as much as possible. But look, it's going to come down to like a lot of fight. It's going to be a dog fight, I think, after the first 2 games.
Sure.
Y'all, is it fair to say, because I'm not, you guys probably already guessed, I'm not rocking with Denver in this series. And it's simply because I do think you guys have the biggest mismatch with Jokic. I do think Jamal Murray can get busy in this series, and you guys have some avenues. And I do actually like the matchup of Christian Brown checking SGA. I like Peyton Watson checking SGA. I like even Russ at times checking SGA. So I think you guys got some chess pieces. But is it fair just to say that Denver just doesn't have enough offensively or defensively?
Yeah,
this could be. Yeah,
yeah.
That's really my main thing. Like defensively, the Thunder just have waves that they throw at you at all 3 levels. Waves. Offensively, they just have. I think they just have too much entirely for Denver to try to shut down. And then on top of that,
I think Denver has more firepower than OKC.
Explain.
Well,
yeah.
I've been big on this. Like I think MPJ is a threat. I think Aaron Gordon is a big threat. It may not look all pretty and be what y'all want it to look like, but that is a threat. Like when Jokic has the ball, Aaron Gordon automatically becomes a weapon. Like when Jamal Murray is a big shot maker, somebody that can go off, and we've seen him go off in the playoffs so many times. I don't understand why we still sleeping on these dudes. Jokic can any night explode. I understand, like what you said, Mars, that Chet doesn't get enough credit for how good he guards Jokic, but I still think it's a serious mismatch. Like I
didn't say that. That was a chat person. That wasn't me.
Okay, my bad. My bad, Mars. I didn't want to put words in your mouth. I do think that if it's not even as far as firepower goes, I'm going with Denver on that. Like I think I'm more willing to put my money on Jamal as a second scoring option than J-Dub and Chet.
Is it because you've seen it, Ox? Is that why? Is it because you've seen it already from J-Dub? I just
think Jamal's a better scorer. If I would have seen both of these dudes the same amount of times, I still think Jamal Murray's a better scorer than J-Dub. I think Jamal Murray's a far better scorer than Chet. And I'm only talking about offensive firepower right now. I understand what OKC brings on the defense, but I don't think that defense can stop Jokic from making Aaron Gordon a threat and still close out on MPJ and then still guard Jamal Murray one-on-one when he comes off of that screen pull up. Like how do you? I understand OKC has a great defense, but you can't stop everything.
So Ox, I do think Denver has more firepower offensively. I don't think it's even a question.
How much do you think that matters, Ron, in this playoff series?
I'm about to get into that because I do think Denver's the better offensive team, and I don't think nobody can argue that. But it's relative to who's defending you. Right. And I just think OKC has more advantages offensively than Denver has offensively. Denver or OKC can turn up a pressure that Denver can't. At least if it's like, okay, we can't stop Jokic and we can't stop the passes that he makes. We can't stop the high-low. We can't stop him on the block. Cool. Right. But you know what we can do? Michael Porter, you get nothing. Nathan.
Well, SGA is going to be guarding 0. Porter, though.
Okay. Isn't SGA a good defender?
Well, not, but that's the off-ball question. Like, SGA is not it's not Jaden off-ball. And Porter has proven that he can shoot over the top of anyone that's not contesting him consistently. So some of this comes down to the shot making, right? Like,
hey, Chill, what you say all the time?
Yeah.
You got it, brother. Average 30.
And that's your logic.
Not 30.
But wait a minute, though, Swiper, because that's Ron's logic when it comes to Oklahoma City. Ron, you already rolled the red carpet out for Lou Dort. You already rolled the red carpet out for the rest of them dudes. You said if we're going to lose, knock yourself out, knock Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, knock yourself out at the long ball line. Well, we've seen Michael Porter Jr. over smaller defenders be able to crack the long ball. We've seen that happen. Even when you get in his airspace, we've seen him being able to do that. Guys like Lou Dort, I don't see Denver closing out as hard as other teams would. I think that they will live with those guys making those kind of shots. Now, guys like Wiggins, I think that they're going to be more conscious of guys like
who do you think, Chill, the Nuggets are going to try to target to to be the mark for OKC? Like, at the end of the shot clock, even if we contest, to Margin's point, we don't even want you to get a 3. But in terms of, you got to put the ball on the ground now with 5 seconds left on the shot clock, and you got to get to a spot. Who do you feel like they're going to try to make the mark for OKC in this series? That's a bailout.
Lou Dort, absolutely. Lou Dort is the guy that if we 6 seconds in the shot clock, we're not closing out hard. I take that back. We're going to make Lou Dort make a play. We may make him shoot a 3 because don't forget, Ron, this is the same Lou Dort who he may have a stretch where he might have missed 2 or 3 wide open ones. And it's 7 seconds in the shot clock. Lou Dort is actually pretty good at putting the ball on the floor. I'm not going to argue that. He's actually pretty good at putting the ball on the floor. But to make him make plays when the shot clock is running down, as opposed to when they're more comfortable in their offense, I feel more comfortable as a defense making him do that with 6 seconds on the shot clock than with 13 seconds on the shot clock, and he has other options.
Chill. That kind of leads me to the next point, though. Right, quick, Ox. It kind of just leads me to the next point. Is when I was saying OKC could turn their defense up to another level, they can take away Jamal Murray, MPJ, Aaron Gordon, and Christian Brown, and even Russ's. They could take away their or they can pressure them and turn them up. Denver has no avenue to do that with OKC. Sure, we can bum rush SGA and get the ball out of his hands, but you know what that opens up? Now it's 4-on-3. 4 offensive players on 3 defenders, and you have Jokic down.
Are they going to double the pick and roll, or are they playing drop? OKC.
I would.
It depends who's guarding the action.
Yeah. So let's say we got Alex Caruso. We got Alex Caruso in the action with I don't know, or Jalen Williams off the bench.
J Dub switch.
Not J Dub. I'm talking about Jalen Williams off the bench in rotation. We got those 2 guys in action. And because Mars, I think it's interesting that because he's going to play.
I think he'll play in game 1.
He's definitely going to play.
I think we're going to find out real quick. But to be fair to Jalen Williams, he's a lot better than he was early in the season.
Yes, he was. Mm-hmm. Yes, he is.
But I think if we see him, we'll see him in game 1. Long time in this series. But yeah, if you have Jalen Williams, you're playing drop. But I don't think you're going to have Jalen Williams out there a whole lot.
Mars, do you think OKC big enough to bother them on the perimeter, like big, like size, like length and size? Like, are they big enough to do kind of what Kawhi, Zoo, Dunn, DJJ to the same level? Does that make sense?
No, they don't. They're not a big team. They're a quick team. That's what their advantage is speed and length. And then like teams like the Clippers, the Timberwolves. Well, the Clippers more in theory, but the Timberwolves in reality is the physicality, the ability to get into you and like just wear you down. The Thunder wear you down by speeding you up.
Mm-hmm.
The Timberwolves and them wear you down by slowing you down because you can't really go anywhere. So I think that's what OKC is going to try to do: get into the ball. The only guy who's like really like physically imposing is like Lou Dort, but he's like 6'3". He doesn't have like the size and length factor.
You don't think J-Dub is
physically imposing? Not really.
No.
Good defender, amazing.
I do think for Denver, especially I'm talking about tonight. I'm talking about game one specifically. I think it would be in Denver's best interest to kind of let them shoot the ball today. You know what I'm saying? Like just pack it in. You know what I mean? When really be more concerned when SGA's navigating the defense, trying to get to the mid range pull ups and stuff like that. Send Aaron Gordon to go help and close out on that. Be big, make him shoot over AG and stuff. I'm telling you, like maybe a few of those guys, but for the most part, we're living with that tonight. You know what I'm saying? That's just where my mindset would be tonight. And obviously, I have no idea what either one of these coaches are going to do. And shout out to Coach Adam, and he comes from a pedigree of great coach anyway. With Rick Adam, but he did a really good job in that first series. And here I am this whole time saying, man, firing Mike Malone was a death sentence for them. And this young man, he went out there and coached his ass off. Shout out to him. But I do think that just for specifically for this first game, let's see how they're shooting the ball. Man, I'm packing it in.
Well, Ox, I want to ask you though, even if they are packing it in, how do they stop OKC's penetration? Because that was going to be my final point in terms of comparing defenses.
Yep.
OKC can do something to slow Denver down. How in the hell does Denver slow down OKC from getting in the paint? These are young dudes, athletic dudes, quick.
They don't allow a lot of paint.
I think that's it though, Ron. I think that's it. I think we figure out who was Aaron Gordon guarding, and we're packing it in already. And Aaron Gordon is going to that help. You know what I'm saying? Like in the mid range, like when Shai's getting to those mid range pull ups or wherever it is, anything inside, we're sending Aaron Gordon to all of that help and just packing in, and that's the best way because I mean. They won the series and all that, and I don't want to get into this swiper, but dude is still a buffet line at the rim. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like we got to not allow that to happen. I think you send Aaron Gordon to all the help and just pack it in. If tonight might be the night. Now, obviously, I don't believe in punting. You know what I'm saying? I think Steve Kerr almost learned his lesson from that. I definitely do not want to concede. I definitely do not want to concede a basketball game. But I do think that it's more important for them to stop that dribble penetration. I think that dribble penetration allows for easier threes. So if you do just pack it in instantly, it's going to be a lot of this swinging the ball, and SGA is going to have to be the one to penetrate and make it happen. Where I just think we stop that, just kind of close that down and make that happen. And
it's interesting you brought that. It's interesting you brought that up too, because I was about to ask because it sounds like. Y'all conceding game one, like this is just going to be a doormat. When don't get me wrong, I can appreciate how rested Oklahoma City is and how healthy they are. I can definitely get with that. But there's a lot of energy that I feel with this Denver team going into this game. I mean, coming. Don't get me wrong, it was a 7-game dogfight, but I like the energy of Denver. It's not like this team just got straight beat up. I mean, I feel like this was a series where there were a lot of different chess matches going on here. And what I saw from this team in game 7, just as a collection, I mean, can we take that, just that energy alone, can we take that and bring that into game 1? I think that they can. Just having to rely on Joker primarily, I think that's the problem.
My colleague, Matt Moore, put this out, but on the 4th, it said teams coming off of Game 7 on the road as an underdog with less than 3 days of rest, facing a team with more than 4 days of rest, are 4-19 since 2023. So, it's basically like, new team, new situation, less rest, less adjustments. Yep. It tends to work out in favor of the home team. So, like I said, I think they blow out tonight because it's just like in the series starts game 2.
Well, y'all, this is what the series looked like over the course of the season. Swiper, I'm pretty sure you know this, but throughout the season, these were the scores of the games. Both of these teams went 2-2 during the season, so Denver has fared well against OKC.
Yeah, that's the thing. They've scored well versus OKC in half the games. Obviously, they didn't have
3 of them.
Gordon and Murray.
That's what I was going to ask you. That's what I was going to ask you. Let's put some context on it. Like, for example, this 15-point smoke in the first game. Like, was the lineups all there?
No, that was game 1 of the year. They just
that was the game Hartenstein wasn't there because was Hartenstein there?
No, So remember, he missed the first time.
Yeah,
game.
Hartenstein wasn't there, and then the last one, the Nuggets one, J-Dub wasn't there, but Aaron Gordon wasn't there for a couple
the third one. Yeah,
so like, we haven't seen these teams fully healthy. Like,
until now. Until now.
You know, even now, MPJ is going to be out there, but he's obviously not healthy.
Sure.
All right, so I want to. We got another Game 7 to talk about, and we also have Game 1 from the Pacers and the Cavs to talk about, and then we have some other series that we finally know are available. But I have to ask this final question on the Nuggets and the Thunder series. As you guys know, we have two of the top 2 MVP candidates in the NBA, 2 of the best players in the NBA, and they get to go head to head in this series. So I got to ask, who will have a better series between Jokic and SGA?
Isn't the what's today? Today's Monday. Shouldn't we know by the end of the week who the league MVP is? That should be coming up real soon, right?
We knew a month ago who the MVP was.
It's gonna get announced.
Let me rephrase that, Mars. Yeah. Officially, shouldn't we know it before the week is out?
I think so. Yeah, maybe.
Last year the MVP didn't get announced to the 22nd, so I'm not exactly sure.
Of May? It was that late?
Yeah.
Damn.
And they still haven't announced when. Yeah, the MVP will be. So yeah, we don't know.
Right. I feel like this series. I feel like this series is tailor-made for SGA. Like I told you, because I think what turnovers are going to be in this series, and I feel like SGA is going to get out. It's going to look. I think it's going to look tricky early because I feel like Christian Brown, the job that he did on James Harden, I feel like the pickup point was high and he was slowing him down. I think it could look tricky early, but I feel like their defense is going to turn their offense. I think their defense is going to turn into offense, and that's, as a scorer, that's what you need. You need to see the ball go through the basket, and I think that once SGA gets out in transition, I think that's going to ignite even more of his offense, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got super busy in the series. Super busy.
So today they'll be announcing Coach of the Year, tomorrow Executive of the Year, and then Wednesday Social Justice Champion. And that's it for this week.
Okay.
So MVP, All NBA, and all that good stuff probably won't be announced till either next week or the week after that.
Yeah, they announced it before Game 5 last year.
Of the semis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just give Shea his MVP at home. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, he's probably going to get it at Game 5. But now, Mars, I will say, what I am excited to see, Jokic has never seen somebody else win the MVP in front of him before. So I feel like that's going to be an interesting storyline. I do want to see how he responds to that.
Probably by losing the game.
Could be.
What I don't want them to for this to be too late, because is it ridiculous for me to think that Oklahoma City could win these 2 games and then or let's say Joker wins the league MVP, like, because it's not ridiculous to think that Joker.
It is ridiculous.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's not. I don't know. It's ridiculous to say that Joker could be the league MVP, and then they go down 3-0. And how are we announcing Joker as the league MVP if the series is already over?
He's used to winning the MVP when he's already at home. It's happened before.
Okay,
it happened 22.
Yeah, it's happened before. He used to.
All right, so it's not a big deal.
So yeah, but he's not gonna win it, so he'll be fine.
And I saw Olajuwon look over to David Robinson holding up that MVP trophy and was like, "Yo, that's your trophy. Don't worry about that. We're gonna get the other one. Yeah, we're gonna get the other one."
That was a great series, man.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna get the other one.
Mm-hmm. If only Jokic could play defense like Hakeem.
Facts.
If only.
Be a pretty good player.
Yes. Damn good. Superchats.
Oh, damn. Okay.
How about that?
There's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's Christian said Russ about to have a historic series. He has home court advantage every game.
They treat Russ real good in Oklahoma City. They do. Yes, they do. Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna have a historic series?
I don't know about that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna go that far, but they treat Russ really good in Oklahoma City. And rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Dame the Great said, I'm an Ant guy, but let's be consistent. 2 years in a row, Ant folded in a Game 7, but it doesn't get talked about much because his team won. No James Harden slander. What was the other Game 7 Ant was in?
Yes, last year he was 6 of 24 versus Denver.
Yeah, but what's the other Game 7?
The second game. Oh, maybe he could closeout game.
Yeah. not game 7. That was just.
But he wasn't in game 7.
Elimination game.
Minnesota, Memphis either.
James Harden deserves the slander he's getting for his performance in game 7. Now, it being an indictment on his whole career, I don't agree with that. But his performance in game 7, yes.
Mark, he handled the last few days very well, by the way, I would say, on the timeline.
But that's the thing, like, people think, this is what throws me off, right? People think that I just blindly defend people no matter what. Like, if someone plays badly, I acknowledge when they play badly.
Sure.
And if someone plays well, I acknowledge when they play well. Like, I'm not here to just be like, oh, James Harden played badly. Nah, he ain't played bad. He was actually not. Like, I'm not here to do that. If James Harden stinks, I'll be the first to say I think he's done. Now, when I disagree, when people say he played badly in the game, I don't think he played badly. I'm gonna disagree. When I disagree that he just always underperforms against the Warriors, I disagree. But I've never denied that James Harden plays worse in the playoffs. I've never denied that. He absolutely plays worse in the playoffs. I just think him playing worse is still better than a lot of people. It's just like, I'm not a huge fan of the playoff dropper logic. I think you can drop and still be better than someone who rises. It doesn't like mean that much to me if you drop. But I'm not gonna just blindly defend James Harden when he plays poorly for no reason. Like, he was terrible in game 7. In fact, I don't think you guys spoke enough about how bad he was in game 7.
So where do you have Will Chamberlain right there on your top 10?
Outside of Bill Russell, I don't have a top 10 list, but Wilt Chamberlain would be in the top 10 somewhere. I don't know where, but he'd be in the top 10 somewhere.
So you don't care about playoff drops. But you got Wilt like top 5, right?
I just told you, outside of Bill Russell, I don't have a list. Like, I can't tell you where anyone ranks. Bill Russell is 1. I don't know who's.
That's a
2,
safe
3,
answer, bro.
Sure, but like I said, I don't care about playoff dropping if you're playing better than someone else who rises. I think it's important relative to yourself to not drop. That's ideal. But I'm not going to call someone who rises a better player than someone who drops just because one rises and the other one doesn't. Because you can rise to a level that's still below the level someone else drops to. Like, James Harden is a better. I don't know.
I know exactly what you're saying, Mars.
James Harden is still better in the playoffs than Jamal Murray is. Jamal Murray rises, James Harden drops. Prime James Harden is still a better player performer than Jamal Murray, in my opinion. But he's a riser and the other one's not. Like, I'm fine calling Jamal Murray a riser, especially in the postseason he rises 2020, 2023.
More moments.
But James Harden in his prime years still played better in the playoffs, in my opinion. Like, that's where I'm at. But,
more moments, Mars? Like, is it more moments? Because I know how you feel about James Harden as a player, and I think he's a better player than Jamal Murray. That part I won't argue, right? But I'm thinking about in the playoffs. I'm thinking about moments. So Jamal Murray, the tough shot maker that he is, right, taking over series. Has he had more moments? Even though Jamal Murray hasn't been to the playoffs as much as James Harden. Well, number one, he hasn't been around long enough. Number two, James Harden is a better player. But in the playoffs, has he had more moments than Jamal Murray? Because Jamal Murray has had some pretty standout moments in the playoffs.
I don't know. I don't count moments. I couldn't tell you how many moments James Harden has. I couldn't tell you how many moments Jamal Murray has. I just think on a consistent basis, game-to-game basis, especially when you factor in defensive attention, factor in team's game planning, I think James Harden has been, in his prime years, I'm not talking about Philly years and when he hurt his hamstring in Brooklyn. Those in the 2020s, Jamal Murray's a better postseason performer than James Harden. I'm not making that argument.
With his last 5 years.
Prime James Harden, like 2015 to 2019, 2020, that James Harden, in my opinion, still is a better playoff player than Jamal Murray is. But I couldn't tell you how many moments either one of them had. I really couldn't. Yeah, I'd be lying if I could be like, oh, well, James Harden has 8 moments and Jamal Murray has 12. I don't know. But that's where I'm at. Maybe Jamal Murray's a bad example. I don't know. But yeah.
Damian Lillard. That's a good example.
He's a dropper, though.
Well, that's a good example. First round, he's been good.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you could get to a point where maybe playoff riser Jamal Murray is actually better in the playoffs than Dame. But
there's only one correct answer to that poll, Ron. Only one correct answer.
I'll use a different example because people get mad about the James Harden one. David Robinson's a playoff dropper. He's better in the playoffs than Jamal Murray. I think that one will be more fair. People won't get mad at David Robinson because he's retired for long enough and all of that stuff. So there you go. That's a playoff dropper who I think is better than a playoff riser. David Robinson.
All right, fellas. First off, make sure you like the video and turn on your notification bell so you can know when Player's Choice does great videos and lives and all of that other good stuff. Also, shout out to our Hall of Famers, Multi Kenny, Vale, Cheese, Minor, Worldwide Mace TV, Jason Grills, and Teddy Hart. Salute to all of y'all. You really the GOATs. But it's time to talk about the other Game 7 that happened just last night between the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. And, well, we had a fairly good game through and through. The Warriors pulled it out, and it was in large part because, well, not because of Batman, Steph Curry, not because of Robin, Jimmy Butler, but because Super Buddy decided to put on his cape and knock down 9 threes, and he was the unsung hero. Buddy Hield finished the game with 33 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and he is the reason, well, one of the main reasons why the Warriors will be going on to the next round. Fellas, talk to me about this game. And Mars, as the resident Rockets fan, you're going to kick things off.
I'm a Blazers fan, but okay.
No, don't do this to us, please.
I'm a Blazers fan. Okay. No, for real, shout out to Buddy Hield. Everyone knows my thoughts on Buddy Hield as a player. Yeah. My thoughts on Buddy Hield as a player haven't changed. I still feel the same way. But he was amazing in that Game 7 and absolutely deserves all the credit in the world for what he did. Made that half-court 3 at the end of the first. That's when you knew it was a long day. That's when you knew it was like, okay, yeah, Buddy Hield on. Like, one thing we know Buddy Hield can do is shoot the hell out of the ball. The Rockets went to their zone look where they just follow Steph around and then just make everything else work somehow. And Buddy Hield kept finding himself open. And then when Buddy Hield's open and he sees a couple go in, then you get to the point where people are flying by. He's pump faking, get side steps. Like, when Buddy Hield gets an open 3 and he's feeling it, he's one of the best shooters on the planet. So credit to him. I spoke about it on Twitter that an offense has to be really bad to make Buddy Hield look like a good defender. And Buddy Hield legitimately looked like a good defender in this series.
He did.
So credit to him for being a positive defender in this series. Like, credit to him. But I think that says a lot about the Houston Rockets offense. But Buddy was huge in this game. Steph Curry's playmaking that goes beyond the box score because of all the attention he garners. I think that stuff goes without saying.
Yep.
Draymond Green was a monster defensively throughout the series. He was also just a thug in his antics, but I think that's just part of it. But he was really good. And then on the other side of it for the Houston Rockets, I think the only player who came out to play yesterday was Amen Thompson. Everyone else, I think, had a really bad game. I think Jabari probably deserved more than the 10 or 12 minutes he got. I don't know if there's anything that needs to be said about Jalen Green that hasn't been said throughout the series already. Like, I think everything that has been said.
Get better.
He spoke about it. He said that he needs to be better. I think the whole world knows he needs to be better.
Get better.
He had literally one good game. Literally one good game. I think going into the series, I think for me, he never plays well against the Warriors. I kind of expected him to be bad. Didn't expect him to be this bad. Just the lack of aggressiveness, the inability to beat a blitz, beat a double team, simple pick and roll coverage that he can't diagnose, playing way too fast. Just overall a bad series. He has to work on his game. Whether or not he's in Houston next year, that's for the front office to decide. I definitely wouldn't be against moving him, but I'm not also just actively shopping him. I'm not on the side that by any means necessary he has to be off the team. But I'm also definitely, I don't think anyone's still on the side of he needs to be there next year. Just if the trade becomes available and Jalen Green's part of it and it makes sense for Houston Rockets,
you definitely
go ahead and do it. If I'm not on the team of just get him off the team. As long as he's not there, the team's better. I'm not on that side of the fence. Also, Alperen Şengün, he gets a lot of credit for this series from a lot of people. For me, defensively, he was amazing. Offensively, no, I just don't think he was that good. Don't think he was that good offensively this year, but he's shown that he can be better than that. Amen Thompson would be the only player I deem as untouchable if I'm the Rockets.
So you're taking calls for everybody else, though, Mars? Like anybody?
Yeah, I would listen. I would listen to a conversation about anyone else. You call me about Amen Thompson, I'm saying no. But anyone else, I would listen. Jalen Green would be the only person who I'm making calls myself about, if that makes sense. So if I'm the Rockets, I would listen to calls about Şengün, listen to calls about Jabari, etc. But I would be making calls about Jalen Green if I'm the Rockets. So
fair enough.
That's where I'm at in terms of what the Rockets look like in the offseason. But in terms of the Warriors, going through this type of dogfight, like they should have got the Rockets out of there in 5 for themselves, because now they're going to play Minnesota tomorrow, who are rested, and they've just come off a 7-game series that was grueling physically. So that's tough. Yep. But I do have the Warriors winning. Warriors in 6. I think Steph Curry just presents a unique matchup that not many defenses can prepare for. You can do all the film study in the world. You could say we're going to do this when Steph comes here, and then you realize, oh yeah, that doesn't work. Just there's not a defense that Steph hasn't seen. I think
or thrived against, by the way.
Indeed. I think an interesting dynamic is the Jimmy Butler return to Minnesota. I think that's going to be interesting.
Yep.
Now it's kind of different because I don't think anyone who was there when Jimmy was in Minnesota is still on the team.
No. Everybody.
So it's not like he's coming back against Cat or Wiggins or whatever. It's just no one's really there.
7 years ago. That was what, 18? So that was 7 years ago.
But I do think it's going to be an interesting dynamic. And I'm curious to see if the Warriors small ball, because they're going to play small, can make Rudy unplayable. Because the Lakers small ball made him unplayable for 4 games. But then game 5, he was dominant. Can Draymond Green at the 5 make Rudy Gobert unplayable throughout a series offensively? That's going to be an interesting dynamic. If they can, then they have a strong advantage. If they can't, I don't know how they're going to get offense going to the rim. That's going to be a concern. But so I think Rudy's the X factor for both teams. If Rudy's able to stay on the court, the Timberwolves have a much better chance. If he's not able to stay on the court, the Warriors have the advantage.
He can't get roughed up neither. He cannot get pushed around. He can't get roughed up in that.
The Rudy Draymond dynamic is going to be interesting for many reasons. Basketball and just Draymond's violent reasons.
Right.
But yeah, that's right.
He's also seeing a different Anthony Edwards too. But Ox, I wanted to ask you, Ox, you ever had that time at the end of the month where, okay, you got here get the bread for the lights, here get the bread for groceries, here get the bread for the mortgage, here get the bread for the car, and then a busted pipe comes up, and that's an extra $300. Like, fuck, I don't have that. I wasn't prepared for that. That kind of threw a monkey wrench in everything we were doing. That's the same thing that happened yesterday with the Golden State Warriors. We did not account for Buddy Hield going for 33. We did not. We was prepared for everything else. We was ready to handle buckets. We did a good job. We did as good a job as we could possibly do on Steph Curry, making it difficult on him, making him take tough shots, making him take tough shots, making him miss tough shots. Then Buddy Hield goes for 33. He's wide open at the long ball line. He's actually making shots with guys' hands in his face. He's taking one dribble pull-ups. We were not prepared for that. That threw a monkey wrench in everything that we were trying to do. Everything. So now what he does is he energizes them where he goes into the locker room at halftime and makes it clear to Curry, okay, I got us in it. You finish it. And then Curry in the second half, he goes off, which is the same reason why I want to pick the Minnesota Timberwolves in this series so bad, but I can't do it off the strength of Curry. Because when I'm looking at this matchup, I like everything that Minnesota has. Everything in terms of defense, Jaden McDaniels, in terms of offense, Jaden McDaniels, how much better Julius Randle has been playing. But I've said this to you guys in the past when I talk about, and I'm going to get to Houston in a second. I've said this to you guys in the past, and Moss trolls me about it. My best player is better than your best player. And I've watched Minnesota and Golden State go at it. And when we get into the meat and potatoes of games, because Julius Randle has not been good, Steph Curry outplays Anthony Edwards late in games, and that's the difference in the game, which is why I can't pick Minnesota. I want to, as much as I want to pick Minnesota, as much as I love Anthony Edwards, I can't do it.
So you think Steph's better?
Yeah, I think
in the playoffs and in this kind of setting, you gotta I look at him. I look at him exactly how I look at James. You got to bounce him. You got to choke him out.
Well, teams have done a good job of bouncing LeBron.
Yes. And you got to do the same thing with me.
Chill. I do chill. Like first and foremost, chill. That was a good lesson in financial literacy for everybody that's listening. Make sure you keep some bread up for rainy days and busted pipes. You know what I'm saying? This is just the lesson in financial literacy. You know what I'm saying? Don't spend
after you make a PrizePicks bet. But proceed.
Right. Don't spend all your bread up. You know what I'm saying? They say in America, most people don't have an extra $500 in case of emergency. We got to make sure to change that narrative, man. Stack your bread, take care of your chickens, and make sure you got an emergency fund. You know what I'm saying? Just a lesson in financial literacy. That was dope, chill. We all should appreciate that. But I do want to say, I've said that Steph Curry is the most dangerous man I've ever seen on the basketball court, and I still stand on that. With that being said, I got the Wolves in 6, maybe 5.
I just look at the matchup.
I do not see this going well for the Warriors.
Curry too. I think Ant's better than Curry. So if your best player is better than the other best player, Ant's better than Curry in 2025. I don't think that's really an argument.
I'm not going to argue that point.
He played better.
Dion, I'm not going to argue that.
In the offensive end. I mean, if you look at 3-point shooting, I think Ant's been a better 3-point shooter than Curry this entire season. I mean, that's not really – I don't think that's really that hard to argue. I mean, what you flopping in your chair for? Ant's been a better 3-point shooter than Curry this year. I mean, I'm not saying he's an overall better 3-point shooter, but this year he's been better. I think Minnesota has the better offensive game. Now, when it comes to defense, I get out to the Warriors. I think they've been great on the defensive end, but I still think Minnesota takes it in 6 games, 1,000%.
I just look at the matchup, and the matchup tells me that Minnesota should win this series. Everything about this matchup tells me that Minnesota should win this series. Ant has been much better. Not only has Ant been much better, Julius Randle has been way better. Way better. Getting downhill, getting to the rim, knocking down open shots. He's a lot more confident. His game has slowed down. He looks much more in control of his game. I don't think he's going to get involved in the antics with Draymond Green. I don't think Rudy is neither, to Mars's point. I don't think Rudy's gonna allow Draymond to bait him into those antics. So it's gonna come down to these guys playing basketball, right? So the scheme is gonna be switching on the perimeter. The scheme is gonna be fighting over screens, just like Jaden McDaniels has done, and slowing down guys like Buddy Hield, slowing down guys like Moses Moody, slowing guys down like Pods, right? Slowing those guys down. The difference is that damn Steph Curry. That damn Steph Curry is still there.
So you don't think Minnesota's too big, Chill? You don't think Minnesota's too big?
In fact, I think that's the advantage that they had. The fact that they are big, and because that's what makes them more versatile. And I feel like that's what gives them the advantage on the glass. I feel like that gives them the advantage on the perimeter. I feel like that gives them the advantage defensively and offensively, because they can get to the rim, and not only can they get to the rim, they can stretch you out. So like guys like Naz Reid cracking the long ball, he's dragging posts away from the basket. And not only is he dragging posts away from the basket, guys like Rudy are now in position to offensive rebound even more. So I think their size is going to be to their advantage, big fella. Full disclosure, full transparency. I didn't watch any of Game 7. I wasn't able to make it to see any of Game 7. So I'm curious, like, is Steve Kerr still being the same stubborn Steve Kerr he's been? Or was he making change ups in Game 7? Or
in fact, he did.
Well, I think the Buddy Hield thing was a big deal.
Yeah. He played.
Kuminga played. Now, Kuminga,
I don't know why he played, but he played.
No. Respect. Kuminga had a very nice move, Ox. It was a heady, slow play. Got around. I was like, ooh.
Oh, when he missed that, I did see that clip. I did see that. We
call that $1 million move and a $10 shot. That's what we call that. $1 million. I
saw a couple clips, but unfortunately I didn't get to watch any of the game. I wish I could have watched it. So that I'm not going to speak on that game.
He led them in scoring basically in the first quarter by hitting those threes and those jumpers, and he basically had them hold water. Steph Curry didn't score until late second quarter.
Steph scored 3 points in the first half.
Yeah, they scored 19.
And they were up like 15 or something. It was crazy.
Yeah, he scored 19 in the second, and like he was like
14 of that 19 came in the fourth, by the way.
Yeah, I was seeing the score. Like I was definitely box score watching, but that's not enough for me. I don't know what was really going on.
Which, by the way, to your point,
score in isolation. Buddy Hield changed the game, and then Jalen Green was doing his normal disappearing act. And anything else that is relevant.
Was there any?
Honestly, I don't think that series should have went to 7 anyway. Houston made it happen. Don't get me wrong.
I think the Rockets should have won, but
Well, that's what I was about to ask you.
That's cool too.
And was there any point in that game, like the Rockets had cut it to 7 at one point in the fourth?
They cut it to like 4 in the third.
Yeah, I remember in the fourth they had cut it to like 7. Was there any point that you guys were thinking, yo, they got a chance to win this game?
Until Jimmy Butler.
Oh, in Game 7, no, I ain't really have.
I'm talking about in Game 7.
No. But in the series, I think they should have won the series. Like,
when was the rebound?
Were good enough to win the series. They just.
When was the rebound from Steven Adams to kick out to Jabari for the 3?
In the third, that's what cut it to like 4 or 5.
I think it might have been huge, closer than that too. I mean, it got.
I'll check the playback.
They got it down to 4 at one point.
It was a huge shot.
I remember 7.
That shot was when I was like, "There's hope."
Right,
but I didn't think they was going to win.
But it's like, chill. You ever like a magnet? If you try to use both sides of a magnet,
that's what I'm saying, Swiper.
It felt like there's just something keeping.
I
them
never
from
felt like the
taking
Warriors weren't in control of that game last night, even when the Rockets fought back and they sped the game.
They cut it to 3 with that Jabari 3.
They ended up cutting
it was 60.
The Rockets are lousy on defense, man, and the problem is
that's not true, Dion.
I mean,
Dion,
I didn't mean my fault, not defense. The Rockets are lousy on offense.
Okay,
and Minnesota has a better offense, and they already took them to Game 7 for the Rockets. And the thing I have to say is this. Draymond Green is on flagrant routes, right? He already has 2. He needs 2 more to get suspended for the entirety of a game. Don't be surprised if a 26 thing happened again and Draymond gets suspended doing something to Rudy Gobert and miss the entirety of a game. He's on a watch right now.
He punched Van Fleet in the face. He punched him in the face.
Exactly. So you got to watch out for Draymond Green. He don't like Rudy Gobert. He only needs 2 more for an entire suspension for the entirety of a game this series. And I can tell you right now, I think it's going to happen.
They just won't give him the next flagrant. They just won't do it.
They won't do it.
I don't know what voodoo he has over the rest, but they just won't do it.
Because you know the thing about it though, Rudy is like, you could tell Rudy. I don't mean no disrespect when I say this to Rudy, but like Rudy's like a soft dude. You know what I'm saying? Like Rudy not out there trying to start no stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
no,
like,
bro. He elbowed Brown in the back of the head, bro. He Brown in the back of the head. Rudy Gobert is definitely sneaky, bro. He one of those sneaky ones, bro.
All right, Dion. Like he might have elbowed Brown. I don't know. I'm not sure. But what I'm saying is like
he watched it, bro. He elbowed Brown, bro.
Okay, I'm taking your word for it. I didn't see it. Okay. What I'm saying? Oh no, I did see that. I did see
and
that.
then told him to stop crying.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right.
Stop crying.
But
Rudy Gobert trying to get his links back this season, bro.
But still, you see Rudy out there roughing, bro. You seen that?
All I'm saying is that Rudy Gobert is by nature. I think by nature just more of a soft dude. You know, he a Frenchie to the core. You know what I'm saying? Like he's more of a lover. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think he wants to do all that. And Draymond Green is consistently trying to just do this man harm, and it's crazy. Like the refs have to control this basketball game. They can't.
You know the Timberwolves, they're not gonna back down, bro. We seen this to the Lakers. They're not backing down. Ant not backing down. Mandela's not backing down. So Draymond want to do the rah-rah. Everybody will do the rah-rah for the Wolves as well. And I'm telling you right now, if Draymond
they can't.
This series is really over.
They can't, Dion. They can't get into that with Draymond Green.
They're going to.
Rudy has to stay focused. Okay, but maybe so. All right, I don't know what. This isn't going to be the most physical series of all time.
It's already the most physical playoffs of all time. The first round was the most physical first round we've ever seen in NBA history, bro. Like across the board. Every single series, the last round.
What are you talking about?
That's not true. That's
How
not
could you
true.
possibly know that?
You haven't. Yeah, he doesn't know that. He doesn't. So
that's what I've been saying, bro. That's what I've been looking at, bro. Name one series that wasn't physical in the first round, bro, for the playoffs.
I don't know.
Name one series. So this was this
series. They was drawing the whole series. What are you talking about?
But in terms of being physical, was this series more physical than the Celtics and the Bulls in 2010? When they went 7 games and 3 of them went in overtime? Was that more physical?
Wait, which one?
2010, Dion was 6.
Yeah, so
you're crazy. I definitely remember that series. You're crazy. You drunk, bro. You drunk. And again, like I said, what series you compared it to, Chill? Which one?
The one where they went to 7 games.
No, okay, versus who?
The Boston Celtics and the Bulls. Boston
Celtics
against the Bulls. You just said that this series was the most physical series in first round in NBA history. What are we doing, Dion?
So which one? Which one are you talking about exactly?
Oh, he's saying compare the Celtics and the Bulls in 2010 to which series from today?
The Clippers, Nuggets. Use that one.
Whichever one was the most physical.
Nah, not exactly. But that's like your most physical series, 2010s. But like you just said, bro, like again, man, everybody across the board, though. I mean, Minnesota Lakers was very physical. I mean, everybody was, really physical. The Celtics series was physical. So but the main thing is about this Golden State. Let's stay on track. The main thing I have
let's stay on track.
Again, the Rockets abysmal have one of the worst offense in the league. They took them to 7 games, man. I mean, literally, Golden State depended on their defense the entire series. They've been dependent on their defense this entire season. And we already see that Stephen Curry is already struggling against that entirety of that defense against the Rockets. He's going to struggle next series as well. We still have a lot of bias to throw against the Timberwolves. I mean, you have Anthony Edwards, you have all these other guys. So, again, I really, truly think the Warriors, bro, are in for a big trouble. They will lose in like 5 to 6 games.
I agree with you, Dion. I think the Warriors are in trouble, but I do think to what we was just saying. I just think the Wolves can't can't get involved with Draymond Green's antics. If you think that there's no way around that, then I think that's a bad look for the Wolves. I think dudes like Ant got to stay focused. You know what I'm saying? Because Steph Curry's going to be locked in. You know what I'm saying? Steph Curry is going to be ready. He's going.
That young fool can't help himself.
Well, then you know what, Ron? Well, that's a recipe for disaster. You know what I'm saying? If Ant can't stay focused because of some middle school antics from Draymond Green, then the Warriors will win this series. You know what I'm saying? So when I say Wolves in 6, when I say Wolves in 6, I'm not saying that like the Warriors don't got a shot, because the Warriors have Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? So if Ant, the Wolves' best player, Julius Randle, one of the Wolves' best players, Rudy Gobert, the best defender in the NBA, y'all just let that go. Let it go. But you know what I'm saying? Best defender. If those dudes get mixed up and trying to fight and tussle with Draymond Green, the Warriors gonna beat the hell out the.
It's not just Draymond, but I don't want to get into the whole mental capacity and who can stay focused and all of that. I just want to talk about what I know and X's and O's and all of this good stuff.
Right on. Okay.
And once again, I've been saying this all year before they even got Jimmy Butler. You guys are underestimating this roster. I brought up Buddy Hield.
You were wrong, Ron. You're not wrong anymore. You were wrong.
I brought up Buddy Hield as well, and you see he got him one game, but he's been terrible for majority of the time. And I'm not bringing him up right now to make an example.
Ron, there wouldn't even be no game.
Right quick, because look, I'm not bringing up Buddy Hield to say Buddy Hield's going to win him this series or win him a game. I'm just saying I mentioned a lot of pieces. B-Pods, Kuminga didn't even play last series, and all of these guys. But then you
think Kuminga's 100% there? I mean, bro, he's getting benched 85% of the series. He's not 100% there, bro.
With or without Kuminga, the Golden State Warriors will win this series.
But
Jimmy Butler will do to the Minnesota Timberwolves first string what he did to them when he played with the third string team and beat their ass.
Yeah, because he
was like Mark said, there's nobody in that locker room the same, bro. It's a whole different animal. Anthony Edwards. It's a whole different animal.
Jimmy, see, y'all keep bringing up Steph Curry.
That's when Cat was a kitty, though. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler.
On top of that, Ron, Jimmy Butler was fantastic against Houston, right? You're exactly right, Ron. So he's going to destroy.
This ain't Houston.
He's going to take
this
that.
This ain't Houston. And Jimmy Butler didn't play bad in that series.
He didn't play great like you talking about him.
It's Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy is still great, Chill. Can we please not get on?
I'm not arguing that point. I'm not arguing
injury watch.
All right.
He's not even 100%. Jimmy's not. Neither is Stephen Curry. He's not 100%. Their team is all beat up, bro. And again,
man, that's a little bruise, man. Jimmy ain't worried about that
thing on his hand, on his thumb. That thing is
his thumb.
That thing is huge.
Yeah. I couldn't tell in the second half.
That's what a thumb. He got nine more fingers.
I couldn't tell in the second half.
What did he average this series?
No, I couldn't either.
He averaged like 25.
He got 9 whole other fingers, y'all.
Steph not the same, bro. Y'all know Steph not the same, bro. We're all watching it, bro. I mean, we're all watching. If he's up 12 points, if he's up 12 points, hooray! He start to score all he wants to. But Steph Curry's not the same, bro. He got saved by Jimmy Butler. He got saved by Buddy Hield, bro. Like his performance wasn't enough for them to win if it was just based off him. It was all about their defense. I'm telling you right now. But the thing about Minnesota is they have 8 guys that can score on any given night. They got 4 guys that can be the best scorer on any given night. They have so much more offensive power, bro, than the Rockets. So again, the Warriors, their first 8 players, they don't have enough on either end to compete with this team. Even if Jimmy Butler goes for 30, even if Curry goes for 30, we just witnessed Luka and LeBron going for 25 plus. It wasn't enough, bro. Minnesota, bro, they just across the board is just so much better than this team. And then Curry fans, again, you guys are getting lucky. You played a non-experienced Rockets team, but again, you guys are going home in 6 games.
So I also have the Wolves winning in 6, but it's not because Dion said. I just think that the Wolves are 1 through 8 the best team in the series, and I think Anthony Edwards can be the best player.
So you have Wolves Nuggets again?
Yes.
And you have the same outcome?
Part 3.
And you have the same outcome?
I don't know. They got to beat OKC first. I'm not doing any of this going forward stuff. I think the Wolves are going to win. I think it could be close to 5. I love Jimmy. Everybody knows how I love Jimmy up here. I am the Jimmy guy up here. Ox is second in that list, obviously. I think some of this comes down to Naz Reid off the bench, chill. Ugh. You know, Dante DiVincenzo off the bench. Ugh. You know, Nickeil Alexander off the bench.
Yes.
Ugh. Oh, Terrence Shannon Jr., we need you to play. You know, it's just like they just have a lot of guys. Rudy Gobert is incredible defender. I think he's going to be really good this series again. He's not going to be respected, obviously, because it's Rudy. Julius Randle could have another good series, especially if, well, he's playing. Jimmy Butler might be playing him mostly on defense. So, but then I will say this: the only player they're not going to switch on Julius actively is Steph, but everybody else they're going to kind of let rock and then see if he can drive. But then Jimmy and Draymond playing golf ball. That's tough. Can Jimmy hit? Can Julius Randle hit shots at an efficient clip against Chill in this series? Maybe. If he does, I think it's closer to 5. If Jaden McDaniels having another good series, Mike Conley is going to make some bogus threes this series. My mind is ready for it. Late shot clock, 4th quarter situation.
Wait, why are they bogus, Swiper? Why are they bogus?
They're so he'll have 3 points in that game, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, there's 2 seconds left on the shot clock. It's 87-85. The Warriors climb back in the game, and then all of a sudden, a rainbow ball left hand, and they're up 5 again with 3 minutes left, and the game's over. Naz Reid
you said that everybody can switch on Julius except for Steph.
I'm saying they're probably gonna live with it, like meaning Pods and them. They'll just live with it. Like we're not gonna overhelp with Pods. It's just we're gonna let Steph do what he does. But see, that's the thing. Is Julius just gonna drive and right trigger it to the basket? Okay, then they're collapsing, and then the 3-point shooters are open. But are they rotating? You know what I mean? It's just all going to depend on Julius' decision making.
Who do you think is the best defender in the series?
Draymond. But will it matter as much as Rudy's? That's the question. That's the question.
I think Ant will be the best defender in this series.
Better than McDaniels?
He's gonna have the number 1 assignment. He's gonna have Curry.
No, he's not.
No, he is not.
He is.
They're gonna put Ant on Curry. Guaranteed. He wants that matchup.
I think Ant will check Curry a lot, but not as a primary matchup. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where Curry's going to be running and they're going to switch off. Jaden, I think everybody's going to guard Steph Curry because he's that.
But when it comes down to the 4th quarter, 3rd quarter, when it comes down to the clutch, bro, I promise you, they're going to have Anthony Edwards on Curry.
I could see.
I'm not mad at that.
I could see Ant being like, yo. I need that.
They're probably going to top lock and switch.
Ron, we can't. You can't. No, I hear you, Ron. I'm not saying that's not right. All I'm saying is, Coach Finch can't allow him.
Yeah, you can't feed in.
Who he's guarding.
Feed into egos. You can't.
Right. Like no, unless that is the good matchup. Unless Coach Finch sees that, like, okay. That's a good matchup.
That's the perfect matchup.
No, it isn't, Dion.
Just hold on, bro. Let me look at real quick, Dion. What? All right, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Stop right there.
Just let him get it off so that we can finish
ridiculous.
Talking.
What are you talking about? Did you not remember Anthony Edwards after last year when they won in Game 7? Who did he call out in Game 7 after they beat Denver? I want Irv. How did that go?
Okay, but Anthony Edwards is a different animal. He said he was out of gas. He said he was out of gas. He was tired, bro. This is 2nd round. Anthony Edwards came back more prepared this season. He wants the matchup.
To Dion's point, though. To Dion's point, Chill. I don't think that's necessarily a bad matchup. Like I think there's a lot of validity to what Dion is saying. All I was saying is, Coach Finch can't allow Ant to dictate how he runs his defense. If he's doing good and he thinks he can check Steph, go ahead and let's see what happens. Right. But that's my only point. He's not going to go. I don't think he should be guarding Steph just because I got him. Like no. But I do think Anthony Edwards is more than equipped to guard Steph Curry in stretches. And even to close out a game, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think Anthony Edwards is an incredible defender. I don't think he's the best defender in this series, but I think Anthony Edwards can hold his own against any guard in the NBA. But it might be one of them situations where, like, you're getting torched. Let Jaden do that. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. But to Dion's point, I don't think it's crazy for him to say that. That's fine too, Ron. That I think that's. But these are the reasons why I got Minnesota winning this series, though. because
Curry
they do got a team
he does,
full of dogs. But
Yes,
with
he
the
does.
team
Yeah,
team full
they
of
got a team
dogs,
full of
you're
dogs
gonna
that can
you're gonna have to throw a bunch of matchups at Steph Curry. You
Brother.
can't just be like, oh, Ant, you got him for this game. No. Ant, you got to get him. Dante, you got to check him. Nikhil, you got to check him.
Right.
Jaden, you got to check him. Everybody got to guard Steph Curry.
I'm just saying, we just seen that.
One man thing, Ox. I can get with that.
We just seen that. I don't know.
See what, Ron?
We just seen a team full of defenders throw everything in the kitchen sink at Steph. Fred came and got some. Amin was getting some the whole series. Tari, you could get some. What? One of you bigs want to switch over here? I'll let all you bigs have it. It was the whole. The Rockets are a better defensive team than the Wolves, and they just got dismantled.
Says you.
But
I think the Rockets did good against Steph. As good as you can do against Steph. I think they did very good on Steph.
Hey,
but Ron, you're
I'm gonna be honest. I think their defense was good in the series. Their offense just wasn't good enough. That defense.
Ron, you're making that you're saying that like Steph just walked through the Rockets or something. That's not what happened at all.
He didn't, and I'm not saying he's gonna walk through the Wolves. But
he's not.
I don't think it's gonna be enough.
All.
You think, Dion? Dion, let me ask you. Dion, you think that Minnesota shuts Curry down in this series?
Dion,
I think they absolutely shut him down. I don't think
Dion.
What, and in your estimation, as a follow-up question, what in your estimation is shutting Curry down? Because he averaged 24 games against Houston Rockets. No, I don't mean
what efficiency.
63% true shooting, good efficiency.
Decent. We shoot from the 3.
39, I think.
39. Yes.
Come on.
What?
That's what he shot in the regular season.
Come on. What? That's not enough. 39 bad.
No, it's not.
What I want to know from you, Dion, is what I'm asking you, Dion, is what does shutting Curry down mean to you? Like,
the reason why.
When you say he shuts him down,
24 points, bro, on less efficiency. I think that Minnesota has so many guys to throw at him, bro, on the perimeter. And I just feel like, bro, they have enough people. And again, Curry, bro, is going to run out of gas. He already ran out of gas in the first round.
Steph was more efficient in the playoffs than the regular season.
That's okay.
Nobody's shutting Steph Curry down. Nobody's shutting Steph Curry down.
That's okay, bro. But Minnesota, I think, is better on the perimeter, bro. I think they got better guys to throw at them, bro. So I think
Minnesota does not, and I love Jaden McDaniels. Minnesota does not have a defender on their team better than Amin Thompson. They don't.
Right, but he's young, bro.
They do not.
He's young, though. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't know these sets coming at him as much as guys on Minnesota, bro. That's all I'm saying. They ready for the moment.
Okay.
I think it's going to be their offense that makes Minnesota win this series, personally. But that's just me.
I think Steph could have a bad series. I'm confident Ant won't be Steph's primary matchup. But I do think, to Ox's point, that everyone's going to have to take Steph at some point. Because every time he cuts through, you're probably going to be switching things. Like, that's just what you do. So I think Ant's going to be on him, but I don't think he's going to be primarily. I think that's going to be Jaden McDaniels or whoever.
Does Looney or Post play more, Mars?
Looney definitely plays more. Yes, he does. Considering what their front line looks like. I'm sorry, Mars. Go ahead.
No, that's fine, chill.
No, you can answer as well. Early on, I would say Post, just to see if they can get Rudy out the paint. And then if Post isn't doing his job defensively, which is more than likely, maybe you go to some Looney. I expect Draymond to just play a lot of minutes at the 5. I don't expect either of Golden State's bigs to be out there too much.
How did they get Rudy out of there though? Like, it has to be Moses Moody and them just hitting shots and like.
I mean, it depends because I'm assuming they go. It's either they go Rudy on Draymond and you have him just play drop in the pick and roll, or you put Rudy on pods and have him roam. I don't know which one they're gonna go with, but each have their own drawbacks.
Yeah, either way it goes though, Rudy's gonna get dragged out of the post due to Steph Curry's gravity. Regardless of who he's guarding, let's just say it's easier to say he's guarding Draymond. He might not guard Draymond, but let's just say he's guarding Draymond, for instance. He might not be a threat. Draymond might not be the threat to pull him out, but the minute Draymond goes and sets a screen on Steph Curry, whether Steph has the ball or not, Rudy has to step up to help.
Yeah,
the
you could
screen.
just you could help from the wing.
What
It's
do you mean?
like
Oh,
play like a one man zone type thing. You have
Yeah.
Rudy in the middle, and
Yeah.
you like zone up the rest of it.
yeah,
When
we could do that.
that's when Draymond sets the pick or whatever or handoff,
Yeah,
or whatever,
whoever's
then
guarding
the
one
other
pass
guy
away from the
goes,
wing,
he
you
goes,
basically
Draymond
yeah.
stays.
Yeah,
I mean, Rudy stays.
yeah. So
Yeah,
you keep
I mean-
Rudy down low at all times and basically just play 4-on-4 on the outside. Well, 4-on-5.
I mean, yeah, they
And
could
let
do
Draymond
that.
cook.
Yeah, and then you basically like Draymond, you're gonna have to score this basketball at some point. Like
Mhm.
we not guarding you. Even
That's-
if you are doing
that's-
that DHO stuff.
I think that's the best option. I think that's the best way to go about it. And with that being said, even if it looks like it's getting picked apart at the beginning, you stick with it. That's
them
my
offensive
personal.
rebounds,
You
so
stick
could
with
be nasty, dog.
In theory,
Rudy-
because Rudy weren't getting offensive rebounds till game 5.
I know, but like maybe he's riding some momentum. I don't know. Looney, I feel like has to get some shots here. Like they got to play Looney Dre at some point, but then don't put him out there with Kuminga, please. And
But if you have Looney out there, Ant's gonna torch him in pick and roll.
because
I'm saying this, Jalen Green stunk in the series. The only times he looked viable was when Looney was playing the pick and roll defense, because he was beating Looney. Now imagine what Anthony Edwards would do. Like
straight to the rim.
Like
He's
that's
getting straight to the
tough.
rim.
Yeah, I don't know how much Looney's gonna be able to stay out there defensively, but I do understand the rebounding and like if he is down,
maybe
at the paint,
Post,
he
but
can
again, maybe
physical.
Post can make up for it. Was he just hitting 45% from 3 on 3 attempts a game? Maybe then you can justify the offensive the complexity of what you could do offensively with him. But the Warriors are they're gonna be closer games than not, more than likely. But Jimmy's gonna have to be huge in this series, like huge. Like he's gonna have to have a really good series.
I expect him to be. I think this
So
is
that
Jimmy's type of series.
so that 18-6 run, that's not gonna be enough in this series. That you got from buckets.
It could be depending on if Steph just goes crazy, and then if the
What's
role,
going
if
crazy
other role
for
players
Steph?
step up more.
What's going crazy
average
for
30. If Steph averages 30, Jimmy doesn't have to necessarily average 18. But regardless of what I think that Steph needs to do and all of that, I just think Jimmy Butler gets more busier in this series.
Ron?
I think it's the Jimmy Butler series.
Well, no, he has to play. But I'm saying that like maybe just to offset the amount of wings that the Wolves have, they have to have Moody, Dre, Jimmy, Steph, Pods, maybe like just like
I could see Pods getting busy, but these guys are all going to get open shots.
I could very much like what happened with Austin Reeves in this series. I can see Pods getting completely taken out of this series.
But why do you compare Austin Reeves and Pods there?
Well, because of them shooting and like number 3 options that they are.
Pods can deal with physicality a little bit better than Reeves, I think, though.
Numbers.
Bro, stop, bro.
Oh, forgot Deion's a Lakers fan. I'm sorry.
Austin Reeves
Pods can just do more
better than
defense.
Pods, but I'm letting you know, both of them going to disappear in this series, bro. Pods not going to give you anything. He might give you like 1 14-point game. I can see that.
Who's the better defender between Pods and Reeves, do you think?
Pods. Austin Reeves is abysmal defense. Listen, I said this earlier too. Austin Reeves is tradable. Like all that non-tradable talk is out the window. I want Austin Reeves out of there, bro. So
I'll do Austin Reeves for Jalen Green.
anymore.
I bet you
say
would,
what?
Mars.
And
I'll
I'll
do
be
Austin
willing to say
Reeves.
there's an argument Austin Reeves could be best player in that team. Shouts.
He ain't better than no damn Amen Thompson.
Oh, I'm not talking about a man, obviously. Like, but
What are you
We
talking
can
about?
swap Austin for Jalen. That's
Hey,
no problem, bro.
that 4-quarter score where Reeves and Şengün coming off the screen, bait. That'd be nice.
My biggest issue with Şengün is the way he processes the game. Like you would think, guys who play slow, they process the game different, and guys who play slow are really effective. It seems like with Şengün, like the way he plays slow, it almost hurts his game. Like he doesn't know when to play fast, and when he does play fast, he is effective. But when he plays slow, it's almost like it just doesn't. He doesn't take the shots necessary for him to take. He sees the game not as fast as he should when he plays slow, which I just think he should be more effective as a slower player, considering he ain't that fast.
The biggest issue with Şengün is, and it's not even his fault, he got grouped into like the Jokic Sabonis archetype, and that's just not him. He's not that. But they see a big that can pass a little bit, and they're like, oh, Jokic Sabonis. He's nothing like either one of them. So now people are expecting him to be like this offensive centerpiece, and like the reality is he was better defensively than he was offensively this season. And in this series, he was better defensively than he was offensively. He's just not that offensively. He's not someone who you run the offense through in terms of dribble handoffs and stuff. He doesn't process the game, like you said, at a speed that would have someone where you want to run the offense through them. And he doesn't manufacture efficient shots for himself consistently. It
did look like that, though, early on. It looked like he was somebody who could do something like that. But I think that the word that you use, consistently, that's the key here. And he doesn't do that consistently. That's where the problem lies.
No, if he can work on his game in the offseason. He come back next season and he's looking like he's diagnosing defenses quicker and he's able to make shots from outside of 4 feet. No, inside of 4 feet too. Like, he's able to make shots. Like, then you're looking at, okay, this is what you can build with. But
how much more you wanted from him though for this inside that playoff series? I think he showed up, man. I mean, he had Draymond Green on, one of the best defenders in the league. He came out there and gave buckets. He had a lot of times he
didn't take what the defense gave him. A lot of times
it was Jalen Green, bro. That's the problem.
Okay, we never argued. We never argued Jalen Green.
He said he did what he's supposed to. He had a couple 20-point games. You know what I'm saying? He passed the ball. He had 5+ assists. He did what he was supposed to do.
The starting center for the Houston Rockets, who doesn't shoot threes, had a 49% true shooting.
It's Draymond, bro.
No,
and then it doesn't help that Houston can barely score. He's seeing a whole bunch of bodies. They
were playing him in single coverage.
Not only were they playing him in
Fred and Jalen saw more bodies than Şengün did.
And not only were they playing him in single coverage, he turned down so many different shots in the mid post and in the mid range that he was wide open that he makes. But instead, he's trying to drive to the basket and getting fouled and throwing up shots that are not going to work. That's what
he can get better. I agree with y'all on that. I think he did his thing for the most part, bro. I really think that series, bro, is Jalen Green, bro. Like honestly, I think Houston held Golden State under a lot of times when it comes to points, bro. They had so many answers. I think the coaching was great for Houston, bro. I think everybody did their part other than Jalen Green, bro. Like, and that's a huge problem. You talk about, I know you said earlier, you was like, bro, you said, oh, I wouldn't be forcing Jalen Green trade. No, they're absolutely forcing Jalen Green trade. Especially if Golden State come out there and beat Minnesota too. That means Houston Rockets could have been in the Western Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying, bro? So again, bro, I would be getting Jalen Green out the door, bro. Now. That's simple.
I would explore it. Yeah, I would explore it for sure.
First playoff.
I do want to say I'm not mad at Şengün either. I thought Şengün balled. Yeah, he could have shot a little better. Yeah, he probably could have shot more shots that you believe he could have shot chill. But for what he did against, once again, how Dion just mentioned, Draymond Green, one of the toughest defenders, even if it is one-on-one. That's one of the toughest matchups to go one-on-one in the league. I think he did his thing. Averaged damn near 12 rebounds. And he hooped.
The rebounding was great, but
I'm not mad at Şengün. These are the flaws I outlined months ago.
Yeah,
he toughed it out,
this series wasn't like, oh my god, I just noticed about Şengün. I've had the same issues with Şengün pretty much the whole year, but I'm not mad at him for how he played. I think
he was their only hope.
Yeah, he did his job. Amen Thompson, after the first 2 games, did his job. The first 2 games were rough, but game 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think Amen Thompson was great. Fred VanVleet, game 7, yeah, but game 3, 4, 5, and 6, Fred VanVleet was really good. Dylan Brooks was really good prior to game 7. Jabari, I think, should have got way more minutes than he got. Steven Adams, I think, was really good in this series. Like, the only person on the Rockets who I'm like, yeah, you just weren't good enough is Jalen Green. Everyone else kind of gave you like something close to what you was hoping for from them. If Jalen Green just plays,
so do you think? So basically, you watched the series, bro. The Warriors, what they was doing was they basically was letting Iman score. Do you think he should have got more aggressive? Because they were basically saying, "Go ahead and score whenever you want to," or letting him shoot the ball in the little mid-range area, basically get to the basket. So they was focused on stopping Jalen Green. Do you think he should have been more aggressive? Going to the paint, or do you think he should have been passing a little bit more? I mean, him being the number one scorer for their team, the last couple of games, I think that's real concerning. He had 24 points. Like, did they play into the Golden State Warriors' hand by allowing him to score that?
I mean, I think his aggressiveness was at the level it should have been to close the series. Game 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's the aggressiveness you need. Mm-hmm. I just think with Jalen Green being as bad as he was, you kind of you put more pressure on other people to have to pick up the slack. And I don't think Amen's capable of doing more than what he did offensively at this point. His handle's not good enough. He's not a good enough jump shooter. So, like, if you're asking him to do more than what he did offensively, that's a problem because of Jalen Green. Jalen Green is meant to take that pressure off Amen Thompson. Jalen Green is meant to take that pressure off Alperen Şengün. and he couldn't do it. And that's on him as a player. I'm not gonna. The whole series isn't on Jalen Green because I think there's some things he did okay, and there's a lot of things he did bad. But I still think Houston could have won despite Jalen Green. So like you have to look at those guys as well. But the biggest issue was obviously Jalen Green, and I'm not gonna hold Amen Thompson against that personally, even if I do think he's still a.
So for next year, do you want Amen Thompson average around 18 points a game? Like, is that something you want for the Houston Rockets? Like,
I know what I do want for a
fact.
I know what I do want. Give him the ball. Give him the basketball, Mars.
You want him to have the ball in his hands.
Give him the ball, Mars. Give him the ball.
I mean, I have to see how he looks to start next season, what the development looks like. But I mean, 18, like if he's averaging 18, like his 18 isn't going to, like the way he gets it is what's important, not how many he averages. He could average 18 just still being an off-ball guy, like just get out in transition, cut, putbacks, and he can average like 14 doing that, and then get a couple like opportunities to really run the offense, and then boom, he's at 18. Like, but is he going to be running the offense like Chill wants? Is he going to be still off the ball? Is he going to be playing second fiddle to Şengün? And if Jalen Green's still at him, like that's what's important to me. How does he get his points or whatever? Not how many does he average. But I think if Amen Thompson isn't an all-star next year, I'll be I think I might be disappointed if he's not an all-star next year.
All right, y'all.
In the West loaded.
The Houston Rockets, unfortunately, will be on the beach.
They need to be in the gym.
In about an hour and a half. Well, we got some gyms down here, Morris. But sure. they touched down here soon. I know Ime got here last night. He was in the room with. Don't even worry about it. But the Rockets are here in Cancun. So we'll talk about them some more in the offseason. I am running a poll right now, and I'm asking, what will the Western Conference Finals be? The Wolves and the Nuggets, the Wolves and OKC, the Warriors and the Nuggets, or the Warriors and OKC. So you guys go vote on that poll. Also turn on your notification bells and like the video while you're at it. We do have some super chats, so I'm going to go ahead and dive into these and see what the people got to say about these game sevens. The first one is from Taserman17. Taserman said the Clippers were a disgrace. Kawhi, my favorite player, but his legacy is ruined. Loser mentality. Ty Lue is a terrible coach. James Harden was a terrible. Zoo was terrible. Role players were terrible. The team is a fraudulent disgrace.
I wonder what the narrative would have been if they would have won.
Well, that Jason Tatum's the best player in the world. But I think Zoo can leave that series with like Zoo was great.
Yes, he was.
Nicholas Batum was great. Kawhi, I think, was good. I don't think Kawhi was great, but I think he was good. James Harden, I think James Harden had an okay series. I think he was bad in game 7. I think
two really good games.
He was bad in game 4, 5, and 7. He was good in game 1 and 6. And then game 2, he was solid. I think, if I'm remembering the series correctly. So I think he had an okay series. But once again, the most untimely bad game, which is a common.
I thought I was going to get 1 from him. I didn't know I was going to get 2.
2 out of 7 for James Harden at this point of his career. I think that's realistic. You get 2 stinkers, you get 2 good games, and then 2 mid games. Well, I think that's reasonable to expect from James Harden at this point. Yeah, it's just the timing of the bad games is just really
I think Zoo battled is just as hard as you can imagine. And he had 16 and 10, 16 and 11. I can't remember what exactly his numbers were, but
in the series?
Yeah, like very, very strong series.
Zoo average
maybe 17, I can't remember.
17 and 10. 66% from the field.
He was awesome. Yes, he was.
Lowering his shoulder.
And if they would have been serious in that last game, those numbers would probably be up. I'm sure the 10 points in the last game skewed his points per game.
Yeah.
He's not like his job was to like finish those plays around that the restricted area and then right outside of that. And he just those little floaters or push shots over are just like dynamite. And so it's just great. Everything by Zoo. I think he just did a terrific job. They played well. Like the Clippers played well. You can't get 8 players playing well in a series every game. So they played really well. They easily could have won the series. Well, not easily, but
yeah, it was a good series that could have gone either way. But now game 7 was so lopsided. It's like, okay, well, I think Denver deserved to win. I'm curious to see what the Clippers do next, though.
And MJ235 Said the last time Jimmy played in Minnesota, Ant posterized Gabe Vincent, and the fans booed Jimmy off the court. Since then, he's been out with general soreness every visit to the Twin Cities. Jimmy can no longer avoid this smoke. Come outside, Jimmy.
Well, maybe he still has a hurt. Maybe he still has a bone bruise.
A broken ass, Mars. We can say it. He broke his ass. That's what he did.
Hurt. Maybe he will be out in game 1. Who knows?
All right. The next super chat is from MP13. MP said, Ox, if you had to start teaching a big man to operate out of the post, what would you use as their offensive basis? Do you start by mastering 1 or 2 moves and then move to mastering counters to those moves?
I would start by teaching them how to post up and how to get open before anything. I would teach them how to, sit down, properly post up, give the guard a target where to pass the ball to, how to sit down, and if you get in front, simple moves to get open, like simple spin moves, swim moves, things like that. And then I'll start with a basic drop step, basic jump hooks. I'll keep it very simple to start with. That's where I would definitely start with that. But that's first you have to learn how to post up.
That's important too, Ox. You talk about getting open, because I ain't giving you the ball if I don't think you want it. Just because you got your hand up, that don't mean you want the ball.
Yeah, I always, because a lot of y'all know I teach kids and stuff, middle school age, high school age, stuff like that. So it's like you got to teach them how to be loud and be big. Always teach them be big, be strong, be loud. You know what I'm saying? All of that, all those first things first. You know what I'm saying? You can't go into the gym and be like, okay, here, I want you to do is catch the ball, open up, 1 count, spin move. You know what I'm saying? All that flashy stuff. You can't do that until you know the basics, and footwork is the basics.
Zanny Zubu Mafu became a new YouTube member. Shout out to Zanny Zubu Mafu. Appreciate you for joining up. The next super chat comes courtesy of Naptown. Naptown said, how many super chats I gotta send before y'all understand that the Pacers are actually good and should be taken seriously?
Ox, have I not been spreading Pacers propaganda for months?
Have you been spreading Swiper? Have you been spreading the Pacers propaganda, Swiper? Yes or no?
Did I not say their 1 through 9 might do just as good as the Cleveland Cavaliers going into?
They're not, bro.
Well,
So
the Cavaliers
had 2 series. The other team's point guard hurt, bro.
It doesn't matter.
They're hurt, bro.
By the way,
Dame was hurt, and then now Garland was hurt. You feel what I'm saying, bro? They're beating injured teams, bro. They're not that good. The Pacers are not that good. Cavs and 6 when it comes to that.
It don't matter.
All NBA. So we all know how I feel about DG. I said he's the most important player on the roster. I've said this already multiple times.
So why are you counting on 1 win? I mean, Pacers they're cool, but they're playing injured teams. Milwaukee's injured, incomplete.
You haven't been here. You haven't heard what I've said about the Pacers. So
no, I heard you. I definitely heard you talk about it, bro. I definitely heard you talk about it, bro. You're a big Pacers fan, but they're not better than the Cavs, and they're not as deep as the Cavs.
Did you know this? You know the Pacers, their starting lineup this year, they have a plus 21 net rating with a 103 defensive rating so far this playoffs.
Interesting.
Nembhard. Very small sample.
No. Nembhard. No, I'm saying you flesh it out for 70+ minutes played, which is like relatively large in the first.
Yeah, it's a large for the playoffs, but I didn't say 70 minutes.
That's good enough. It's a plus 21. Right. They Nembhard, Neesmith, Pascal, Turner, and Hallie. Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you, Ron. I see 5 defenders in that starting lineup. 5. I see 5 of them. You watch the 4th quarter chill. I see 5 of them. 5 defenders in that roster. And they were strapping last night. By the way, this is going to be the most beautiful shooting display. Beautiful shooting display in the NBA playoffs so far. These are 2 of the best shooting teams in the sport. Mark, did you see those first 3 quarters? The shot making that was taking place. Not Donovan Mitchell. He was bricking. But everybody else outside of D-Man.
From 3. From 3.
Yeah, that's what you might.
1 of 11's bad.
Yeah.
He also took over too much in the 3rd quarter. That's another conversation we get to.
No, he didn't. In fact,
he
that's
did too much. He was doing too much.
There's the reason why
he got a bit tunnel visioned. We can call a spade a spade. He got a bit too,
and it got them back in the game.
Then
he needed that.
Then he also started doing that when he didn't need to anymore. So it's a fine line when you have it going, and then like sometimes you go a bit too far over that line when you end up getting your team back in it, and then you get your team back out of it because you kept going. Like it's hard to balance that. I think
I just don't see the Pacers outplaying the Cavs, man. We got too many guys.
You just seen it.
But that's one game. Again, we had our injured point guard, a guy that runs our offense.
50-50 next game.
And again, Tyrese is not going to outplay Donovan Mitchell this entire series. If you think Tyrese is going to keep having better games than Donovan Mitchell's better than Tyrese, that's why.
In what way?
He's a better scorer, a better defender than Tyrese. Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. So, again, I have Donovan Mitchell outplaying Tyrese. Donovan Mitchell is a better fourth quarter scorer than Tyrese. You know what I'm saying? He's better in the clutch than Tyrese. So, if you think that Tyrese is going to outperform Donovan Mitchell for the rest of the series, I mean, you're out of your mind.
Playoff so far, Chill, and he's been great. Great.
That's cool, but we haven't needed Donovan Mitchell to be great yet.
Chill, did you see that step through on Jared Allen yesterday? Boy, oh boy, that boy said, "Hey."
Bro, it's a lot of answers.
I think there's within reason to say the Pacers have the best player in the series.
No, they don't.
What about the
I think it's
what about the
within
best two?
Nah.
But I think it's within reason. That's not saying Halliburton is the best player in the series, but I think you could make the case. I know I could easily.
We got the best player in the series in Donovan Mitchell, and we also have the best starting five, and we also have the best bench in the series.
Best starting five in Garland
across the board is better.
Garland plays.
We have the best defender in the series. And Evan Mobley, we have the best 5 men in the series. Is Siakam better than Evan Mobley?
The best
five men.
I think Miles Turner has been better than Jared Allen this year, respectfully.
Nah, I think Jared Allen's better. Jared Allen's one of the best defensive bigs in the league right now as we speak.
Miles Turner's a good defender. And
I didn't like Jared Allen and Mobley on the court together yesterday.
That's one game.
Which it's worked in the past. It's 100% worked in the past. I don't like that 1-5 switch. We don't have to switch that with Jared Allen on Tyrese Halliburton.
But to be fair, Jared Allen is a switchable big.
Yes, he is, but we don't have to do that.
Is he? I don't know, because last night.
Relax, bro.
Hey, look.
Here we go, Ron, with this bullshit.
Last night. What about it? What is bullshit? If I was to tell you last night that the 4 and 5 for the Cleveland Cavaliers look like Giannis and Brook Lopez, what would be your pushback? The only thing you would say is that they're not. The only thing you would say is that they're not Giannis and Brook Lopez. But last night, I seen the Pacers the same thing that they did to the Bucks. They spread them out, made them rotate, and made them big fellas move their feet.
Spread them out.
Yeah, that part is true, but they didn't look like Brook Lopez.
Hey, spread and call.
That part is true. And Halliburton was able to, especially Jared Allen, just beat him in isolation. And if he's able to do that, then you do run into some problems. Or do you play Jared Allen heavy minutes? Do you have to go away from switching? What do you do? I don't know. But if the Pacers were to win this series, I think winning game 1 was going to be the big key for them. I didn't know Garland wasn't playing until I started watching the game.
We have to respect the fact of how important Garland is. Like when you take 20 and 7 out of the lineup and you just look at that, 20 and 7 is out of the lineup. Okay, that's a lot. But now when you take your primary ball handler out of the lineup, you take your primary distributor out of the lineup, you take the head of your attack on offense out of the lineup. Now that leaves Ty Jerome and Sam Merrill, who are just shooters. That's what these guys are. Now you asking them to do, yes, that's all. That's what
Ty Jerome is not just a shooter. Let's not disrespect Ty Jerome.
He a bucket.
Sam Merrill, okay. Ty Jerome is
he's a bucket.
We ain't going to disrespect Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome is a bucket.
He's a playmaker, bro.
But
can definitely give people
even if he's that, now you're asking him to do more of that than what he's actually there for. You asking him to do what Darius Garland now isn't there to do. That's a problem.
Point guard room between Cavs and Pacers, Chill.
Say that one more time.
The better point guard room.
Is Nembhard a point guard?
No, I don't. I'm putting combo guard. I'm saying
Hallie and McConnell versus Garland and Jerome.
Yeah.
Nembhard's
which one you like more, Chill?
Garland and Jerome.
Hallie's the best player of those 4, but I think Garland and Jerome are 2 and 3, and then
TJ, he's a different dude though, Mars. When he's like,
they're all great.
I mean, it's crazy. It's like, but it's just crazy how good all of them are. But I really like
the decision making across the board in this series is just like extremely high level. Just so many high level decision makers. I think the series is gonna be amazing.
I know we got to keep moving, but am I ridiculous to think that Kenny Atkinson made a mistake sitting Donovan Mitchell in that fourth quarter? He had it going in the third. And I think he should have left them out there in the fourth. He could have put him back in. He could have taken him out at some point in the fourth to get him some rest. But the fact that he sat him for almost half the fourth quarter when he had it going in the third, and then he comes back and he's not the same as he was, I thought that was a mistake on Kenny Atkinson's part.
If Rick Carlisle makes another conference final in back-to-back seasons, and this is a fully healthy Eastern Conference year,
let's go, Ricky C.
Fully
Hey,
healthy.
I think Rick Carlisle
fully healthy. Dame wasn't healthy. What you mean fully healthy?
That's what I said. We've been beating up on injured teams, man. Come on.
We were
when the Celtics did that,
Darius Garland
with them.
Swipe. Wait.
I mean, you beat who's in front of you.
I'm only. I understand that. I'm only saying that because Swiper. That's what you just said. You said fully healthy East. That's the only reason I said that. Y'all already know.
Garland,
that's how
assuming
basketball
Garland
works.
comes back.
You're hurt.
Yeah, I'm assuming Garland comes back.
Would you bring him back for game 2, or would you risk it? Would you risk
If he
it?
comes
down
play,
0-2?
hell yeah.
Patriots are too good to do that. They're too good.
They said if this was a regular season, he'd be out for like another week.
Rick
So
Carlisle.
basically, do you think you can go to Indiana 1-1 without Garland?
It's possible.
Yeah, we got to play.
Ron think if Garland don't come back, Ron think they can sweep them.
No, not sweet. That's crazy.
Yo. All right.
I mean, I think you do have to factor.
Ron, you said 5, right?
Chill, but if
I think you do have to factor in the Pacers shot 53% from 3.
Right.
Like they do generate good offense. That's absolutely true. But 53% is still unsustainable. And the Cavs, who also generated a lot of good looks, shot 24% from 3.
Yeah.
So like, which toe is it?
Miles, don't forget too. In quarters, I think if you can correct me if I'm wrong because you're the numbers guy. You got this in front of you. I think in quarters 2 and 3, I think the Pacers shot almost 70% at the long ball line. I think they shot over 66% at the long, something like that. I'm not sure. And then it went down in the fourth quarter. But those two quarters, from quarter number 1, quarter number 2,
the Pacers were 6 of 9 in the first quarter, then 3 of 6, then 6 of 12 in the third, and then 4 of 9 in the fourth. The only quarter they shot below 50% was the fourth. And they were 44.
It's hard to beat a team when they're shooting like that.
Nembhard's not dropping more than 20 points for the rest of the series, bro.
Okay, you don't know who Nembhard is clearly, but like
he's not dropping more than 20 the rest of the series, bro.
But like the Pacers generate a lot of good shots. It's still unrealistic to expect them to shoot this well, and the Cavs generate a lot of good shots, and they shot really badly. So I do think something about that will equalize.
Crazy.
Garland will be back at some point. I don't know when that is. Me personally, I don't know why Sam Merrill started. And I'm going straight to DeAndre Hunter in the starting lineup, or I'm going to Ty Jerome in the starting lineup, or I'm not starting.
Because it's not Sam Merrill. It's not.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Maybe they wanted to keep the bench rotation the same. I think,
which I guess makes sense. But I also Donovan Mitchell has to make some jump shots. That would help.
You pass the ball too would be great. I mean, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, that would be ideal if he passed the ball a little bit and if he makes some jump shots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, game 2 of the series is tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they play again
tomorrow. Why are we doing this? Now the series are like,
no. Don't worry about rest. Who needs rest?
Hey.
Figure it out.
Well, we'll be excited to watch this.
How special are Nembhard and Neesmith though together, Ron? They're terrorizing people. I'm sorry, bro. They're just.
I didn't know either of them were this good. And when they had first started, I didn't think that they would play at this level. Especially Neesmith coming off of, his Boston stint. I didn't know he was going to be this reliable as a 3-and-D guy. And even getting downhill, running a fast break too. But the thing about those two is they're just solid as a rock.
They're strong.
You know what you're going to get from them every single night.
Yeah.
No, you don't, bro. They had a cakewalk in the first round, bro. We're gonna see it for the rest of the series.
What about
those two?
What about that Miami Heat team?
I think those two. Miami would have made it a better series. Miami's not a cakewalk. Nah, I don't think they are.
Miami would have made one better series.
The Pacers.
It would have been a better. It would have been a better series. Yes, bro. Yes, Giannis was by himself out there, bro.
I don't know. Only one team plays Kyle Kuzma.
I don't think these two guys have enough what it takes, for the rest of the series. I think the Cavs are going to overwhelm for game 2, especially if Garland plays game 2. You guys are high on these two cats, but again, they haven't really shown me anything. They showed me one round of basketball. I mean, are they going to continue to give you 18 points, 20 points plus? I mean, we'll see. But, I mean, I think the Cavaliers have a lot more firepower.
Great Knicks series last year. And a great Bucks series.
Decent.
Hey,
but again, we're talking about right now.
Dion, when we up 3-1, I'm gonna bring you back on the show. Probably next Monday. I'm gonna bring you back on the show. And we're gonna have the same conversation. As a matter of fact,
you didn't do man. No,
I know you can't speak on my Pacers. I know that. And as a matter of fact, hurry up and bring Garland back so we could put Neesmith on him, or so we could put Nimhart on him too.
That's what I'm saying. We're not really worried about the Pacers at all. I mean,
hurry up and bring him back so we can put the belt on him
at the basketball games no more. How Tyrese gonna play when he go home? How do you think he feel about that? About his dad getting banned for eternity when it comes to basketball games? So I mean, again, bro, it's a lot of things that's going to unfold into this series. And again, the Pacers just doesn't have enough for the Cavaliers. We're far much better team than them.
Once again, the whole theme of the show, I've been saying it looked like it last night.
Yeah, it's cool. That's one game, though. That's one game. You guys got your one game.
Hey, Pascal coming too. Just remember that. Pascal on the way.
I think Evan Mobley last on to say about Pascal. I mean, he's a decent player. I mean, he's awesome on the offensive end, but I think Evan Mobley, bro, winning the Defensive Player of the Year, is going to have an answer for that. You said what?
He's getting all NBA votes this year.
Yeah, he's cool. He's cool. Is he better than Evan Mobley?
Yes.
Pascal Siakam.
You said Siakam better than Evan Mobley.
I don't think he's better.
Yes.
See, that's ridiculous.
Ron, where was his energy last round? Never mind. I know why.
Yeah, if Siakam better than Mobley, he better.
Hey, bro, we are boxing when I see you. I swear, we are boxing when I see you.
Hey, now you can't speak the truth without people wanting to fight you. See how this gets.
When I see you.
Didn't you pick the Bucks and I had to pick the Pacers and had to stand on business while you were just going with your favorite player?
Yeah, and while you were picking your team and not standing on business,
I was objective.
You decided to take a flight out to Indiana and stand on business over there and leave Denver.
I thought the Pacers were better than the Bucks. I didn't think the Nuggets were better than the Clippers going into the series. That's all wrong.
I think the Pacers are better than the Cavs. Is that crazy?
Oh my gosh.
Huh?
I've been
saying that though. I've been saying that though. I said whoever the Cavs play out of this series, they're gonna lose. Morris, I ain't say that.
The Bucks.
He did say that, but yeah, he was yapping. But
no, Pacers, but now I'm yapping.
The Pacers have a shot. B, I really don't know what Garland's issue. I don't know. Like
shot, Morris, they got headshot.
He's got
no, they have a shot. I still think the Cavs are the better team, and I think I had but I'm gonna go with Pacers in 6 because why not? But I think the Cavs are the favorites still, even after losing game 1. But I'm gonna go with Ron. I'm gonna go with Ron. Pacers in 6.
That's tough.
Pacers in 6.
I think it's a 7-game series. I got Cleveland.
Halliburton back-to-back conference finals. Maybe then he won't be the most overrated player in the NBA.
Talk to him, Mars. But all right, y'all. We got another members chat from Big Smoke. Big Smoke said Dubs in 5 with a chef and a goat. Whatever that means.
I'm telling you, man. Steph winning that 5th ring.
Nah, not possible.
Steph
not better than Magic Johnson, bro.
This the same Mars who just told us that Steph Curry and LeBron James wasn't close to each other. He just said that last week. Come on, man. Let's go.
In terms of legacy, yeah,
let's go. Come on, man.
He's not, bro. He's never been close to LeBron. So I mean, I understand that.
What's LeBron's playoff record? What's LeBron's playoff record in the last 3 series?
What's Steph playing? What's Steph going to be the last 3 series?
Oh no, he just won 4. LeBron hasn't won 4 playoff games since 2020.
Okay, but what year is Steph in? Compare that to LeBron's year. What year is Steph in?
He's less years in the same amount of championships, right?
Wait, he got carried. What? 1 MVP. And every single championship he got, LeBron was better than him. So stop talking.
Is LeBron?
He had to get KD. You know that.
Yeah. Is LeBron better?
Congratulations.
You can take the better player trophy. I'll take the Larry O'Brien.
That's cool. We both got 4, and I'm better than you. So you talking about we got 4 each, and I'm better than you. So we talking about we had the same amount of Larrys. I got more final MVPs than you. What are you talking about?
Steph got that 5th.
Dion, the last time Steph Curry was in the playoffs, do you remember who they got eliminated by?
Morris is disgusting.
Who they get eliminated by?
Well, the last time Steph was
Go James. I know. Listen, LeBron gave Curry his first L in the West in 10 years.
The last time Steph was in the playoffs is
Did you know that Steph Curry has won twice the amount of games in this series alone that LeBron has won in the last 3 series combined?
Damn.
But that's totally fine because Curry was actually out the playoffs. Curry was missing the playoffs. He wasn't even getting to the playoffs. He was missing the playoffs. So, I mean, I can't lose if I'm not there. What you talking about?
Was LeBron in the playoffs in 2019?
No, he wasn't.
No, he got injured.
Was LeBron in the playoffs in 2020?
Didn't he win a championship in 2020?
Was LeBron in the playoffs in 2022?
No, he wasn't.
So who has more Western Conference appearances since 2020?
more Western Conference appearances.
Yeah.
What's that?
From 2020 to now, who has more Western Conference appearances? Several LeBron James.
Who's made the playoffs more?
In the West.
So LeBron made it in 2020.
LeBron has more. Curry's been getting bounced out. Curry has not been performing nowhere near to LeBron James. The last time they played in the playoffs, LeBron smoked them. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
How many Western Conference Finals games has LeBron won since 2023?
You said what?
0.
Breaking out.
0. Interesting.
That's cool. Again, what is
how
your
many times has Steph Curry been swept
in year 18, year 19, year 20? Curry's when LeBron's in year 15, 16,
how many times
17, he's getting a championship.
How many times has Steph Curry been swept in his career? How many times has Steph Curry been swept?
Okay, how many times Curry blew a 3-1 lead?
One time.
I mean, how many times LeBron James done that?
Steph Curry been swept?
How many times LeBron had to watch somebody else get a trophy that he should have won?
How many times Steph Curry been swept?
0.
LeBron's been swept.
I'd rather get swept than blow a 3-1 lead any day. Blow the 3-1 lead is way worse, bro. We know that.
More than Steph Curry's giving up a 3-1 lead, though.
Ron, this is your fault, by the way, Ron.
No,
it doesn't matter, bro. Blowing the 3-1 lead is way worse. Steph always had help. Steph always had Hall of Fame players next to him. What are you talking about?
LeBron don't
He's
have
never been.
Well-known, not Hall of Fame.
How many series has Curry not had a better team, bro, going into?
Yeah, well-known scrub.
Weren't the Lakers favorite to win the series?
Bro, you guys try to sweep a 3-1 lead blow under the rug.
All right,
it's ridiculous,
fellas.
bro.
You tried to sweep under the rug.
A sweep is fine. I lost to the better team. I blew a 3-1 lead. Your team's better than mine.
That's what these Bron stands do. They just
praise. We got 4 championships. We didn't have to call KD. We didn't have to call KD.
No other fan base other than LeBron fans will say a sweep is fine.
Bro, Steph and Curry fans, bro, pick and choose when they put them in the conversation. Steph never gets hold to the fire, bro.
That's fine.
Kawhi fans won't say a sweep is fine. Steph fans won't say a sweep is fine. MJ fans won't say a sweep is fine. Only LeBron fans will say getting swept is okay.
No.
Only LeBron.
I never said it's okay. It's better.
You said it's fine. You said it's fine.
I'm a LeBron guy, and I never said that.
Those are exact words.
Listen, it's fine to pay. I'd rather get swept than blowing a 3-1 lead. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Congratulations. You'd rather not win a game. Congratulations.
Bro, yeah, I mean, I'm up and I blew a 3-1 lead. That's way worse.
Never win. LeBron fans would rather never win. Crazy.
Listen, bro. 4 final MVPs to 1, bro. Stop talking to me.
4
times better than Curry. It's not close.
Not to be 5.
Okay, we'll see.
All right, Millionaire Mason became a YouTube member today. Shout out to Millionaire Mason. And shout out to Cheese for gifting 20 Players' Choice memberships. If you got that membership, you already know what to do. Become a member. Once the membership expires, subscribe, like the video, all of that good stuff, and turning on the notification bells as well. I got another super chat from Masinko. Masinko said Ron was cooking filet mignon from Factor Meals, by the way, and turned it into spam so fast. Shout out to Mookie Baylock. Hey, well, I cooked filet mignon and spam. Like,
there you go.
Versatility.
It's a good meal. Exactly.
There you go.
Huncho, aka your boys call you, sent through a super chat or a members chat and said the last time Russ made it past the first was in 1920.
Indeed, on the Rockets.
Shout out to Russ. Money 00 became a YouTube member. Shout out to Big Money for joining up. And MP13 said this. He said in a super chat, Kawhi got to be the only guy that can average 25, 8, and 4 on 54, 40, 80 splits with really good defense and get called bad. Admittedly, he left some on the court that I wanted to see, but Kawhi played well.
I don't think he's the only guy. Because I watched Kevin Durant do something very similar last year, and people said he played bad against the Timberwolves. But I think Kawhi was good. I don't think he was great. I think he was good.
Well, shout out Kawhi, shout out to Kevin Durant, and shout out to Case for sending through a super chat. Case said, Mars is right. Halliburton is better than D. Mitch. But because Hallie doesn't average 25, that's apparently crazy to say.
There's nothing. Only thing Tyrese does better is pass the ball, bro. That's it, bro. Donovan Mitchell does everything better on the court, bro, than Tyrese. We all know
Donovan Mitchell better than Magic Johnson, too.
Well, the thing about Magic Johnson is that he can still give you like 25 and 13. He's a better defender than Tyrese. And his overall impact is way.
Is he a better defender than Donovan Mitchell? Is Magic Johnson a better defender than Donovan Mitchell?
Depends on how you look at it. I think Magic. Yeah, I think Magic is a better defender than Donovan Mitchell. Yes.
If that's what
because Magic,
that's what you gotta say.
Listen, Magic can play. You know what I'm saying? 1 through 4.
Well,
you know,
I'm tired of hearing. I'm tired of hearing when it comes to like these point guards like Tyrese Halliburton, where it's like the only thing he does better is pass. Like, I'm sorry, like that's the same.
That's
argument
it, though.
against
That's
Magic
it.
Johnson. It's the exact same.
No,
argument.
you can't.
Every time Tyrese Halliburton comes up,
28
from
in
now
a series.
on, every time Halliburton comes up, and someone says he's not better than this guy because the only thing he does better is pass, I'm going to make the same argument for Magic Johnson. I'm going to do that.
You can't make the same argument. See, look, you young cats, bro. This is wrong with you young cats. You young cats are, bro, sit here act like Magic Johnson, bro, wasn't that scorer. He's a scorer. He's had a series averaging 25 points, 20 points a game, 26 points a game.
Mars's point is that can't be the deciding factor of why he's better.
Halliburton just scored 22.
But Magic is an all-around better player than
Why are we talking about Magic and Tyrese Halliburton? What are we doing?
Mitchell
What's
is a
happening
better
right
overall
now?
player than Tyrese. Donovan Mitchell and Magic Johnson is better overall players than Tyrese. There's levels to this.
Score better than Magic Johnson too, but you said he's not a bad defender, so you got it. That's cool.
Well, chill. To be fair, I'm just saying. To be fair, playoff Tyrese has entered levels that no other point guard has reached. I mean, he's the only player in NBA history to average 180 assists and fewer than 50 turnovers in his first 20 playoff games. I'm just saying, playoff Tyrese is
average 180 assists. He accumulated.
Or to have 180. You know what I'm saying?
Averaging 180 assists, go down. Then maybe he might be better than Magic Johnson. I don't know.
It felt
he
like
clears them, Mars. He's not even close.
Yeah, but
Tyrese better than Magic? What you saying?
Focus, Dion. Would you focus, brother?
They're basically the same.
I thought that's what you said right there.
Anthony Edwards better than Magic Johnson for sure. He scored better and played defense.
He averaged 12 assists in the playoffs. Hey, that's Magic like to me. But hey, shout out to Tyrese Magic Burton. Duke Baylocks said Kawhi Leonard era for the Clippers has been a failure. Y'all force him in Steph, Bron, and KD conversations when realistically he's in Jimmy, Paul George, and Paul Millsap conversations. Are we done overrating him?
How did Paul Millsap get that?
Damn. How we doing?
But I agree. I don't view Kawhi in the Steph, Bron, KD realm. I never have personally.
Me neither.
But
are we done rating Kawhi then?
I don't think I overrate Kawhi. I think I'm quite fair with Kawhi personally.
King, that super chat, that super chat right there is fact. 100%. That sells all of it. If you keep the straight face, that is an art. That is a skill that Mars has. You have to be able to keep the straight face. If you can't keep the straight face, it doesn't work.
I work on my craft, man.
Yes. That is definitely an art, no doubt.
Toast the GOAT said, where was that DPOY? Shout out to one buddy. Told me pick against the Cavs, and I got some money on. Shout out to getting some money on.
Yeah, I don't think Evan Mobley was good defensively yesterday.
I don't think he was neither.
10 Man sent through a super chat and said, Dub panel, Swiper, Jokic really made you international. I got friends in France asking me if I know the bald-headed, bright-skinned Jokic Glazer.
That does sound like Swiper. Yeah.
Pretty accurate.
Swiper. He's international with it.
Man, Swipe about to be going crazy, man. When they lose this series, man, OKC about to spank them, bro. I'm just letting y'all know, man. Like,
OKC have a better chance of getting swept than they do.
Nothing for OKC.
Kirkland Barnes said, not going to lie, I thought Kawhi should have had a game like game 2. Not blaming him for the loss, but that was the only way they were going to win.
Yeah, they would have won if James Harden decided to play basketball. Well, they could have won. No, would have. They could have.
Average Joe sent through a $10 super chat and said, the problem with Hallie is people think some of these pass aheads aren't great plays. They are conditioned to think you need to dominate the ball, break the defense down, and spoon feed your guys. Shaking my head.
You don't. He's right. You don't.
But Magic Johnson does it, though. He's an all-time great.
He doesn't primarily do that, but keep going, Ron.
Medved.
No, I'm talking about the hit-ahead stuff. When he does it, he's an all-time great. When Hallie does it, he's worse than Donovan Mitchell. That's what I was saying.
Medved said, Nuggets taking care of business. Flexing emoji. Now they will pack up that ticky-tack free throw merchant in Oklahoma just like they did Harden.
Facts. Denver
super weird. And Denver and Jokic fans, y'all got some weird energy towards SGA, bro. Y'all super weird. Y'all won't get SGA his credit, bro. He's nice on offense. He can get to the lane, bro. It's not his fault he can draw fouls. So, bro, listen, he deserves the MVP. Stop trying to act like he doesn't deserve the MVP. He deserves the MVP 1,000%, bro, over Jokic. So, again, give him his flowers, man, when he's right here and he's hooping, man. He's a young cat hooping. Give him his flowers. Y'all got weird energy when it comes to the SGA, bro. I noticed that for your Jokic fans, bro. It's kind of weird to me.
Average Joe said this man got Cyclops from X-Men shades. Damn, I'm just playing. That being said, I'm curious on where y'all have Hallie if they make the Eastern Conference Finals run.
They made an Eastern Conference run last year, and
you're saying if they do back to back.
Yeah. So all right. So where was he last year when they went to the Eastern Conference Championship?
I don't know. You guys were saying he could be the best point guard in the league in a few years.
I did think that. The way I was watching him, I thought that he could be that good.
It's starting to feel like that again,
and with Luka having a down year.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Chill, it's starting to feel like that again, huh?
Well, no, because Shay's a point guard, but you know,
starting to feel like that.
Calm down, buddy.
Bro, Tyrese,
he's the best scorer and defender. So calm down. All Halliburton does better.
I'm putting him in that category. He gonna have to win that. He's a MVP. That's what he gonna have to win.
I don't know. Halliburton to me is the 5th best point guard in the NBA. I don't think much is going to change that.
Definitely top 7. We can have a conversation, like we can have a real conversation, like between 4 and 5. We can have a real one.
Yeah, I'd go as high as 4.
Yeah, I ain't going lower than 7. I won't.
Yeah, I'm not going lower than 5, but yeah.
Yusuf Oz said, need the same energy you guys had for Luka and Bron for Harden and Kawhi. That was embarrassing. Kawhi is slowly becoming a myth.
Agreed.
Yeah, in terms of legacy, the what if thing can help you a lot. Because when you never see someone, you're able to.
All right, Chill.
Gotta bounce, fellas. I'll see y'all.
You're able to manufacture hypothetical legacies with certain guys. Like you never see Kawhi healthy, you're able to manufacture. If Kawhi was healthy, he'd have this many blah blah blah. And then when you finally see him healthy, and it's like, oh, they lost. Yeah, it doesn't help. So I do think Kawhi's conversation around Kawhi benefited from the fact he was never available. But I wouldn't. Harden deserves more criticism than Kawhi. But
how can you say that though? I mean, bro, you carrying the team the whole season, bro. Like, and then they gonna tell you it's not your team, it's Kawhi's team. And then you go to the playoffs, and then now Kawhi's supposed to be our number 1 guy. You guys still be the number 1 guy. And then when things go wrong, I get all the blame as the number 1 guy. But when things go right, Kawhi literally gets all the praise. Bro, if I'm James Harden, I want to get out of there.
James Harden just has to play ball. James Harden just has to play well. Like, I'm not
because, like, again, bro, like, what superstar wants to play that role? That's like LeBron being gone the whole season. It's AD's team. LeBron comes back as LeBron's team, and then when they lose, it's AD's fault. Like, it makes no sense. I know, like, if you're the best player, bro, you need to hold that fire in the regular season and in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So I think James Harden is a kind of a mess up role. I do blame him for that series. I do blame him for Game 7, obviously. But again, I don't want to be that superstar that has to, take on the burden and then not get the credit only if you lose. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel about that.
Shout out David Blaine. Kirkland Barnes became a YouTube member. Shout out to Kirkland Barnes as well. Curry Stan sent through a super chat and said, this Cavs fan is hurt that Curry snatched LeBron's chains 3 fucking times.
Including
Keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut and only open it when Curry says so. 80 was everything for LA.
Cook.
Bro, first of all, bro, LeBron took the biggest chain. Came back 3-1 on your guy. After that, he got into a car and went on a plane and cried at KD, bro. So, again, and then what happened when the match up even again? LeBron James took him out. You know what I'm saying? He basically ruined the Warriors. The Warriors would never be the same. They'll never have that Clay, Draymond, and Curry ever again. You know who did that? LeBron James. LeBron's the one that did that to Curry. So, again, LeBron has had the last laugh. I mean, he needed to go get KD to even compete with LeBron James or injuries. And I always say this, too. If 2012 happened when it was the Heat versus OKC, if Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade went down, freaking Kevin Durant would already have a championship. That's the same thing that happened in 2015 versus the Cavs and the Warriors, bro. Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving went down. How would history be right now if KD would have won in 2012 if LeBron's best two other players went down in the series? That's what Curry's living right now. He got lucky. Then he got KD. I give him his championship in 2022, but that's about it.
Yeah, the rings against LeBron just don't count. Absolutely.
Sauce the Dawn sent through a super chat and said the Rockets need to trade Jalen Green instantly. If not, waive that bum. 30 minutes, 3 for 8 from the field, 8 points, shaking my goddamn head.
That's the biggest issue. He just couldn't get shots up. It's not like
I agree with that.
There's a difference between just missing shots and not being able to actually shoot the ball. And Jalen Green, for A lack of aggressiveness, and B, he can't read a defense, couldn't find avenues to actually go and score. That's the bigger concern.
Naptown sent through a super chat and said, can I come on when the Pacers win? Yo, Naptown, hit me up, hit me on Instagram, hit me on, join the Telegram group chat or whatever. Just get at me. After we dismantle these bums and get rid of them, I'm like, hey, you're going to be up here all Eastern Conference Finals with me, pushing Hallie propaganda when we spanking the Celtics next.
No, Rob, make sure you have them come up here, bro, if y'all lose too. You know what I'm saying? Why you always want to come? Like, why talk when you up, bro? Talk when you losing. So make sure you come here when y'all lose and you know, confront us then. Because, you know, I'll be here if we win or lose.
All right, well, I mean, the thing about it is we're going to be up 3-1, so, like, we still going to be ahead.
I love the fake hope.
You know, MP13 said, Swiper, can you just in detail explain what unplayable means? Because this is the 4th time that we are not knowing what that phrase means.
It means you're hurting the team when you're out there. That's what it means. It's not you physically can't play. It's when you're out there, you're actively hurting your team's chances of success. Jalen Green was unplayable in the Rockets Warriors series, but he played damn near 30 minutes a game, but he was unplayable. Some people can be just unplayable on one side of the ball, even though we're not making offense, defense, substitutions every time down. Jared Vanderbilt is unplayable offensively, but you still have him out there because everything he does defensively. Some guys are unplayable defensively, but you have them out there because of what they do offensively. That's what unplayable means. Kind of interesting that people seem to think unplayable means you can't touch the court. That's not what it means, but
iOS Inc. sent through a super chat. Shout out my man iOS. He said, who has the biggest ownership over each one of these franchises? LeBron over Toronto, Steph over the Rockets, or Jordan over the Knicks?
LeBron definitely won. I'll go Jordan over the Knicks for 2, and then I'll put Curry over the Rockets for 3.
I don't even think this is close. It's definitely Steph over the Rockets. He done beat these fools 5 different times. 2 different game 7s. Like, he been beating their ass for his whole career.
Different iterations of the franchise too. Like, you got the start of the Rockets contention in 2015. He demolishes them. Then you've got the Rockets where they feel like they can actually compete with the KD Warriors. He beats them twice. And then you've got the young Rockets post James Harden. He beats them as well. So I got down. Like, at some point, you just need to grow up. But I'd argue it's more of a Golden State over the Rockets thing than a Steph over the Rockets thing. But
you could say that. Either way it goes, Steph owns the Rockets. He has partial ownership over the Rockets franchise. I don't know if it's 10%. I don't know if it's 80%. I don't know if it's 50%. He got some ownership. Kirkland Barnes said, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie to you. OKC's defense is a level above the Clippers. Nuggets guards are going to struggle. Plus, they have no answers for OKC's offense.
0, bro. 0. I fully agree with that comment. Again, bro, OKC is just so much better than this team. But they're basically what they want right now for the Nuggets, bro. They want Jokic to be the superhuman. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to work. I'm telling you right now, OKC can take on what Jokic does and still be more dominant than the other teams. So OKC in 6, bro.
Benedict TJA said, I know Tatum got love for his performance so far, but I think Brown also deserves love. Playing well through his knee trouble.
Shout out to Jaylen Brown. Shout out to everyone who's playing through like ailments and pain, like MPJ, Jaylen Brown, All of those players who are playing when they probably wouldn't be during the regular season.
Hector Davila sent through a super chat and said, these Curry fans acting all high and mighty after Buddy Hield saved Curry's legacy. Calm down. 1 Finals MVP and 0 defensive accolades. Steph is not in the same conversation as MJ or LeBron.
Well, if we're going, because if we're doing that, if we're doing 1 Finals MVP and 0 defensive accolades, then LeBron's not in the same conversation with MJ, if that's the measure.
Or Kareem.
Because LeBron has less defensive and Finals MVPs than MJ.
LeBron.
And
you
Kareem.
Curry got championships, but he's not the best player. You can't say that for LeBron. All 10 of LeBron.
How many Finals MVPs MJ have?
He's the best player in.
How many Finals MVPs MJ have?
2011 if you want to.
How many Finals MVPs does MJ have?
You said what?
How many Finals MVP does MJ have?
That's not really an argument.
How many Finals MVPs does MJ have?
He has 6.
How many does LeBron have?
LeBron has 4, but LeBron has went to more championships as the best player.
Praise and losing again.
MJ only went to 6 NBA Finals as
praise
the
and
best
losing
player.
again.
LeBron
Congratulations.
went to 10.
Once again,
That's
LeBron fans, praise and losing.
I mean, if MJ would have played 8 more seasons.
If MJ wouldn't have done nothing, he was there in 1995.
LeBron went to the finals and
He's not
lost.
playing.
Congratulations. Shout out to LeBron, man. He went there more and lost. Yay.
MP13 said Chill has never missed a day of work. Why wouldn't he be here?
I've seen Chill miss a day of work.
They talk about because bro, Chill's on the Clippers train for like the last 2 weeks, and everybody kept telling him, bro, get off the Clippers train. He talking about, they hold me hostage. Nah, we not holding you hostage, bro. You don't gotta go for the Clippers.
Didn't nobody have a gun to the back of Chill's head?
Yeah, so that's why I was kind of surprised.
Chill thinks he could pick and choose.
Like, no, he was on that Clippers train, bro.
Nasty Chill. Casual Brown sent through a super chat and said, let me know, I'm a casual. Harden and Luka are the same player?
No, they're not the same player.
You're right. One shows up in game 7s and in the 4th quarter, and the other just...
Luka didn't show up in the 4th quarter of this series. Nice. Luka didn't show up in the 4th quarter of the first round that just happened, so... Okay.
I'll give you that. He did show up, bro. And Mars, I was disappointed in Luka, bro. I think that was bad. That was bad. Real bad.
Shout out to MavsFan06. MavsFan06 sent through a members chat and said, Mars, please go live more on your channel.
I went live twice yesterday.
Come on,
that's a Mars Talk Sports record. Yeah, I doubt you're gonna see me going live more. Nah. We'll see, but don't hold your breath.
Speaking of Mars's channel and the Hoop Talk podcast, my man at the Buzzer Sports said, can we acknowledge the Nuggets defense in the first round? Come on, it's right in front of your face. Look, y'all, open your eyes.
They did play good defense. They did.
Nah, that's just against we'll see next round. I don't think the defense is gonna hold up. That's just my opinion.
Denver in 5.
Twizzy Nas said, who's better, Harden or CP3 all time?
James.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Ray B said, Jamal Murray about to look like Jalen Green's doppelganger in this series. OKC in 5, brother.
Agree.
Okay.
He'll probably give you one good game. That's about it.
Like Jalen Green.
Yeah.
Sauce the Dawn said Lakers didn't have all season to get a center, by the way. They had AD, traded AD for Luka, then the trade deadline came. By the NBA rules, you can't trade after the deadline.
Yes, sir. If you're a Laker fan, you know what I'm saying, we keep your head high. The season didn't go like how we planned, but we got a lot of off-season moves, so I'm pretty excited about that. So yeah, man, we lost. That's cool. I gotta take it to the channel on that one.
Mavs fan 06 said, credit to Chill. I was asleep on D Mitch, but that MF are nice. Anyways, Pacers would beat all those weak-ass Bulls teams. Hashtag overrate that. Huh.
What Bulls teams he talking about?
Talking about Jordan, of course. Okay. Come on. Money 00 sent through a super chat and said, shout out to Ron and Ox for holding it down for why. Chill and Ray Charles, y'all are tripping. He dropped 39 on damn near nothing but all jumpers.
Who are you talking about?
That game 2 was crazy.
I can't call it. I don't know. But shout out to Flo. Flo became a YouTube member, and shout out to Red Hood. Red Hood said Kawhi outplayed Joker 5 games. Not his fault. This bum-hearted just dribbles out the clock. Whoever made him a point guard should be fired. Get his ass off my team. Damn. No need to cook Harden like that. He don't really deserve it. Medved said Dion LaFlop paid 52 million, 35% of the cap, while Russ giving similar effort for the Nuggets on a vet minimum, $3 million. Worry about keeping Luka on your bum ass franchise.
Facts.
To compare LeBron to Russ, that is not even remotely true.
Not really.
And if you do know, LeBron tried to take a pay cut before the season for us to bring in another player, to play alongside.
Yeah, more help he needs. Yep, no surprise.
We just couldn't get the moves for it. So again, bro, LeBron James, bro, was the best defender inside that series. He averaged like 25, gave like 7 rebounds, 7 assists. I mean, even like 9 rebounds. I mean, LeBron James was awesome in that series. He definitely wasn't the problem. I mean, the problem is we had no big men, we had no front line, and then also Austin Reeves didn't show up. That's the biggest problem to that series. LeBron definitely deserves every penny he's made and every penny that he's going to make going forward, 1,000%.
Brett Bovia sent through a super chat and said the Clippers lost the battle but won the war. The team that eliminates the Clippers from the playoffs has never won a championship. Sure, the Clippers don't care too much about that war, but
so that confirms Denver's not going anywhere. Nice.
Ant MJ235 said Ant had 31 assists to 6 turnovers. LeBron had 28 assists to 13 turnovers. Luka, 29 assists to 20 turnovers. Why didn't we praise Ant's decision making?
Where were you when we did that? We literally praised Ant's decision making. That was like the whole skill we went on throughout the series. But I guess you wanted us to go on our knees for him. I don't know. But I think we praised him.
Hezo Mellow Jello sent through a super chat and said, this man Mars is a damn troll, but I'm not hating on it.
People call me saying facts just trolling. I don't know why.
OT87 became a YouTube member. Shout out to OT87. And Ant MJ235 sent through yet another super chat and said, Shea is a playoff dropper. When physicality ramps up, he can't flop his way to the line.
Told y'all, it's a whole court of them, bro. I told y'all, Jokic fans, bro, they are not giving SGA his credit. Everybody else in the league think SGA is nice, other than these Jokic fans. So I cannot wait, bro, to shut up the noise, bro. And listen, SGA about to shut up all that noise. If you think Anthony Edwards did Jokic bad last season, what SGA about to do to Jokic this season is about to be ball game, bro. Straight up.
Right.
I can't wait.
You right. He gonna shove all that noise down your throat. Just wait. OT87 said, I have a feeling Jamal's going to be taken out of this series. ... They will follow last year's Wolves. Mavs fan 06 said, in my opinion, the Rockets should have ran through Amin and played Jabari more down the stretch. Do y'all agree? Chill. Let me in the DM or in the damn TikTok live.
Yeah, I think the Rockets just need to pick the avenue they're going down with who they're building with. Because if you're building with a man, you need different things than if you're building with Şengün. And if you're building with Jalen Green, for whatever weird reason, you need different things than if you're building with Şengün. So you have to just pick who you're building around and then prioritize the roster around that instead of trying to build with all of these young guys together and you're not maximizing any of them. But we'll see what the Rockets do.
I know one thing. Reed Shepherd fits in with any of them, so maybe just build around Reed.
I am curious to see Reed Shepherd next year. I do think that'll be interesting.
Fint Jones, and shout out Reed Shepherd, the sophomore of the year. But Fint Jones said the Nuggets look like they had 6 unplayable players most of the year.
6 is a stretch.
That's a lot. I mean, they're good, man. And Jamal hooping, bro, they got one of the best supporting casts in the league for their superstar, bro. It just depends on Jamal hooping, bro. That's the key element. But I think Eric Gordon, he's a hooper. I mean, again, MP's a hooper. The thing about MP, though, right now, he's averaging 10 points. So he's definitely averaging lower than what he's accustomed to doing. I don't think he's 100% healthy at all. And I think that's going to weigh on him this series as well. I don't think MP's going to average over 14 points.
All right, y'all. I got another super chat from Jay of Christ. Jay of Christ said, "Chill. Did you play pro? If so, do you have any highlights?"
He
Yes,
did play pro, but unfortunately, the 1930s footage is kind of hard to.
Well, Morris, he made a comeback in the 2000s. From 99 to 2003, he played for the Nuggets. In 03, he played for the Rockets. From 04 and 05, he played for the Grizzlies.
Okay.
06 and 07, he played for the Miami Heat. He won a championship as well. Then he played for Boston.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
08.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chill Posey.
Yeah. Shout out to James Posey, man. Facts. Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. Finesse became a YouTube member today. Shout out to Finesse. Red Hood sent through another super chat and said, "Do you think the Clippers could trade Harden for LaMelo? I need that bum off my team. I'll take Wash CP3 over that bum."
I don't know why the Hornets would do that. I think you're drastically overstating. I think you're underrating James Harden at this point.
He's in the worst role ever right now in the NBA, bro.
Mavs fan 06 said Dion the fucking GOAT, to be honest.
Hey, I appreciate you, fam, bro. Much love, bro.
I agree. Dion ranks higher than LeBron for sure.
Come on. Nah, I never, I never be ranked higher than the GOAT. You know what I'm saying?
No. You rank higher than
my
LeBron.
part.
It's levels to this GOAT shit. Let him.
He rank higher than LeBron for sure. Like they're not even in the same category.
I humbly accept that.
We got a super chat from That Guy Plays. That Guy Plays said, "Watching Steph torch old man like Mike in the pick and roll and off ball is going to be real sad."
Mike Conley's not going to be guarding him. He's going to be on Pajemski or something.
Yeah.
Or Buddy Hill. He'll probably be on Buddy Hill.
Mike Conley sat in the chair against Luka a couple times last series. Don't be surprised Mike Conley, bro, guard Steph, bro. I mean, we see Fred give Steph a couple problems. So, I mean, I think when it comes to Steph, it's more of IQ of how you play defense compared to, like, your actual physical ability. But, I mean, it's both, if you really want to shut him down. But I think Mike Conley's a smart defensive player.
Steph finna shake the D's. Steph finna shake the dust off his old ass knees.
I wouldn't be surprised about that either, though. No crazy. So,
No Cat Prince said, "I didn't really fear anyone on Houston offensively besides Jabari. Felt like that nigga didn't miss. Knew Fred's magnet ball would wear off eventually."
If only Jabari could dribble, man. God damn, he can't dribble.
Mavs fan 06 said, "Playoffs been physical, and Jokic and Zoo battles got me feeling like I'm watching the 90s and 2000s hoops. Old heads be yapping about."
I told you. This probably been the most physical series, since 2016? What y'all say? I think it's been a real physical playoffs, man. It's just a long time, man, for sure.
LeBron finally sees some 90s defense and goes home in round one. Crazy.
Bro, LeBron will torch the 90s.
You said it, not me. You said physical defense like the good old days. He sees good old defense and look at him in round one.
That's when Brown won.
Guess who? The shooting guard who's compared to Michael Jordan. Interesting.
That is interesting, but hey, he got a shot like Curry. Though.
Interesting.
So MJ wouldn't be as effective.
Interesting. He sees 90s physicality and he sees a Michael Jordan reincarnate, and all of a sudden,
that is
I just see
crazy how that works, right?
That is some coincidence to it, Dion. It is a little coincidence.
He sees Michael Jordan reincarnate. He sees 90s physical defense and loses.
Oh no, Dion. Maybe you do rank higher than LeBron.
Yeah, interesting.
Nah. But I will say this: it's been a physical playoffs, man. I'm looking forward to the next couple of games for sure. So,
all right, Kirkland Barnes said, "I keep sending chats, but how can I come on here to talk basketball with you? I'm serious, like for an episode." Well, you see, Kirkland, we have this thing called memberships, and in the memberships, there's tiers like a chatter, but Kirkland, you don't come across as much of a chatter. You seem like you got something really important to say. And then there's another tier where it's the rookie tier. That's the tier that Big Ox and Swipe is in. Then you have the all-star tier. That's the tier that Jordan, Swiper, Mars are in. And then you have the Hall of Fame tier. That's the tier where you got guys like Multi Kenny, Vale, Cheese, Cobra Son of Raditz. You got those guys. And when you join that Hall of Fame tier, like Vale, Minor, Worldwide Mace TV, Jason Grills, Teddy Hart. Every Friday, you have an opportunity to come up here and cook guys like this fraud and talk ball with guys like this guy and get asked questions by guys like this guy. So ultimately, long story short, you got to join the Hall of Fame tier, and then you'll be able to come up here every single Friday. And if you cook every single Friday, you have an opportunity to permanently get a membership or get a spot on the panel. And, you know, guys like John D, he joined the PCL. He was a wild card, and he cooked in the PCL. And, well, he's been on the panel weekly ever since. So you could also wait for the PCL to come about and join the PCL too, but you have a better chance of just becoming a Hall of Fame member. And then you can come up every Friday and on the stage of Playback as well. All right. Last but not least, we have a super chat from Hector Davila. Hector said, Knicks in 7, Brunson will outplay Jalen and Tatum in the clutch.
I agree.
I hope so.
I thought about that series. I got the Knicks winning that series. Knicks,
me too.
Probably 6 or 7.
I got the Celtics, but I hope the Knicks win. You feel me? I'll be happy about that. But I think the Celtics win like 6 games.
All right, there you have it, y'all. It's been an amazing episode. Dion, appreciate you for coming through. We'll
Absolutely.
be back
You have me on, brother.
tomorrow at the same time, probably with a different cast, but we'll have a couple good games to talk about tomorrow. So y'all be sure to pull up. Like the video on the way out today. Like the video on the way in tomorrow. All right, Dion. All right, Mars.